day. Right. Cool. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we out here once again. We're going to get right into it. It's a beautiful day. So Lowell and be a beautiful camp. But pretty much, as you can see in the you can see in the title, right? Everything is being revealed. Let me just share this real quick. Everything is being revealed, and that's pretty much what we see going on. Matter of fact, let's actually start up with that. I think there's a precept on that about shall be brought to light everything that's done in darkness. Light might be, I think, in the book of Matthew or so, or John. Yeah, see if you can find that in here somewhere. All right, just keep scrolling. Oh, right here, it might be this one. Yahweh Shai said that everything that's done in the darkness shall be brought to light, something like that. But pretty much, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is bringing to light, everything, right? In the book of Zephaniah, right, the first chapter, he mentioned that, right, by the prophet Zephaniah about how the Lord is going to search Jerusalem with candles, okay, which meaning to do a thorough search, right, within, and even in the dark places, shine that light over there and see what's really going on. Make that inquisition, basically. And that's what the Lord is doing now. Okay, so now you got this whole situation, which, hey, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, we've been saying that the Lord is gonna bring down and collapse all these false teachers, these false groups, right? And now you got the controversy with the IUIC, basically pushing this concept, right? What they're doing is they're pushing a Christian concept or a Christian dogma, but they're trying to code it with a Hebrew Israelite twist, So they're pushing that concept pretty much that the God of the Old Testament was Yahweh Shai. It was really the Messiah, And what they're really trying to do is they're really trying to push that Christian dogma about the Most High and Yahweh Shai being the same entity, if they haven't already said that, okay? But we know all throughout the scriptures that that's not. So what we're seeing is they're really going back, man. They're really going back on all the things that they've been taught, and that's a sign that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is taking away the oil. He's taking away that knowledge from them, whatever little that they had. Okay, because you have a lot of wickedness, a lot of pride going on over there, and a lot of people are being misled. What happens when you start to go viral and go global and yada yada is that you start to become compromised, because in order to maintain a certain status or maintain a certain funding or whatever the case may be, you got to now change. And that's what you notice. Like, even when you deal with individuals, one person that goes from low to high, right? Maybe they're poor and then they become rich, or maybe they started off making music and then they get signed by some record label or some record company or some record deal. All of a sudden they change, right? The way they make music changes. Their lyrics start to change. The way they dress changes, right? The originality that they had, the genuine part of themselves, they lose that, because now that they've tasted of this new life, in order to stay in the new life, they start to tell them, look, you got to change this. Look, you got to change that. A good example is that movie, not that movie, the TV show The Boys. Now, in the first season, which that's about as far as I've gotten, but in the first season, you have this chick, I think her name is Starlight. Okay, so Starlight. Yeah, brother.
After you say it, please, I have something to say about that.
That's it. So Starlight, she went from watching from the outside looking in, right? She sees I think they were like the 7 or whatever, the top what do they call them? Supers, right? So and these are soups, right? And these are basically people that have spiritual power, you could say, right? And so she's watching from the outside looking in, and she's like inspired. She's like, damn, these guys are like my childhood superheroes. Like, these guys are my idols. I want to be like them. So she finally gets the opportunity to join, and then when she joins, she now starts to see what's going on behind the scenes. Two things. Number one, she sees that, damn, these niggas are really they're not what they're made out to be. These guys are some pieces of, there's some pretty terrible people, right? And the second thing is she realizes that she can't be herself when she joins. You have somebody that's assigned to you that's supposed to take care of your public image, and everything you got to do is for your public image. They're gonna tell you, go to this event, say this specifically, say this, support this, push this, because that's your image we're trying to preserve. And she's like, that's not me. But they're like, we don't give a damn. It ain't about what's you. You signed a contract. So if you want to be here, you're gonna do what we tell you to. And that's the point that I'm making here, is that when you get a group that's compromised, or an individual that gets, this opportunity or this money to get to a certain level, that in order to maintain that level, they have to now change how they were. If they came in sincere, they got to change and now become whatever it is that whoever's giving them that money or whatever the case is wants them to be. And that's why you're seeing that push towards this Christian, dogma. If you notice, all these groups that get compromised, they pretty much end up teaching the same thing, right? It's the same thing they tell them. The name, you gotta take the name away, then start pushing that Christianity joint. That's always how they move. So you had the point.
Oh yeah, about that show, The Boys. What he didn't tell you is be careful, because it has Edomite humor. I think that's 4 seasons now. Be very careful watching that show, because that show has strong Edomite humor. I will let you know that right now. If you don't like Edomite humor, don't watch it, because you're gonna be disgusted with it. But like he was pretty much saying, and there's a spin-off show called Gen V. And in Gen V, something not similar to Starlight, something happened where there's a Judite woman. I think her name is Marie Moreau. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know how. Gen V, never watched? Okay. But she has like some blood powers. But something happens at like a club or whatever, where her neck gets, somebody's neck gets slashed off or whatever, and like the chick, she has to like save the individual. So then after that, like you were just saying, after she goes on TV, she wants to tell the truth of what really happened, but she can't. They're like, no, we have a line, a card for you to read it, memorize it, so that way when you get on TV, you'll say exactly what we want you to say. We don't care about you telling the truth. Read off the card what we want you to read, and there you go. Also, like you're saying about them soups, when Starlight finally joined within the 7, she saw the other soups. She really saw them for who they truly were, and they're nothing more when you really look at it. Cause meditating, even on like, when you think about that with people of today, like celebrities of today, they're pretty much you people, you everyday average people. You see how some people you run into at the job is assholes, they're talkative, this and that. They're regular people with just money. They're you. The guy who's at the job that will scum you over to get a better position, some of them are them, but just people with money. That's it. There's no difference between the everyday average individual and those celebrities. The only difference is your salary, your money. That's it. Other than that, they're you.
And you find out that the version of them that you see online is not them. Okay? When you see this artist or this even this actor, you got a lot of people that become fans of actors, and in fact they're actually fans of the character but not the actor. And when they meet the actor, they expect the actor to be the character, but that's not the case. The character is made up. This guy, I don't know what his real name, I forgot what his real name is, but Jon Snow. When you see Kit Harington, that is not Jon Snow, okay? He's just playing that role. That's why it's called an actor. He may say the same phrases. He looks just like the dude. I mean, he is the guy that played the role, but the character of Jon Snow is not this guy. Jon Snow may be austere. This guy may not be. This guy may be a clown, or he might not be, right? So that's, like you said, or going back to the point that I'm making here, what you see on TV, the perception of these people is not how they actually are, okay? And some of them, like you said, are assholes. Some of them, like you said, they're cool, they're chill, but they're not the person that you see on TV, whether it's an actor, a musician, or whatever the case is, or even an Israelite celebrity, because that's what a lot of these people are in it for, to become Israelite celebrities.
I'll give you another example. This one's gonna be a little funny. My mother, right now, back in high school, had homeboys always come to my crib and stuff, and I'm like, oh, your mother's such an nice person. I'm like, she's not nice. That is an act for you guys when you guys come around. She's all, oh, hey, that's an act. When you leave, I see the real thing, and that's essentially like the people, like you were saying with the celebrities. When you see them on TV, that is an act. They act on, yeah, man, it'd be nice to be here. They got the Oscars, I think the Grammys, because my mother watch that. All that type of stuff. That whole smiling stuff, that's what you see when the camera's on. The same way when homies used to come to my crib and see my mother, that's an act. When you leave, I see the real thing. It ain't nice. The same way with them, when the cameras get off, they probably doing all this drinking blood and all that type of stuff, all these sacrifice. You be like, what the hell? But oh, there's even stuff that came out. This remind me, people said that Beyonce's breath used to stink because I think she eats shit and all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
All
That's
that type
wild.
of stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I knew she had an alter ego, Sasha Fierce and all that. But I mean, hey, it's all part of the rituals that they do behind the scenes. So really, a lot of these celebrities, man, they're just actors. That's all they are. To give you a certain perception of them, you know. But damn, that's wild. Hey, like P Diddy, right? He got all these allegations coming out against him. Now people are seeing, oh, this what this guy really be up to behind the scenes. He coming out here rapping and shit and all that. Oh yeah. Listen, man, the dude been sus since the very beginning, saying the weirdest, wildest shit. You know. So anyway, that's the whole point. But you got that precept, right? All right.
This is the book of Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall be known.
So pretty much what is being said here is all the things that are done in darkness, that are done secretly, right? Secret deals, you know, secret compromises, whatever the case is, it's all gonna come to light. The truth is like a buoy when you tell a lie, you try to force it underwater. And here's the thing about it: if you've ever dealt with a life vest or a buoy, it always floats back up. So if you want to keep it underwater, you have to constantly do a constant effort to try and keep it down. Because the second you let go or you let up, it's gonna come right back up to the top. And that's why when somebody tells a lie to try and cover up the truth, they have to keep telling lies to keep that truth down. And the second they slip up, that buoy starts to come back up. And then they try to tell more lies to bring it down, but we've already seen it. There's more?
Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the air in the closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetop.
Yeah, meaning that the things that you've done in secret are going to be exposed. So if you sold out, you know, you've taken the bag, whatever the case is, guess what? It's going to come to light. Because we know that pursuant to Luke the 6th chapter, us coming out here and teaching this word, as the scriptures call it, the foolishness of preaching, this isn't something that's going to get you liked. This isn't something that's going to get you famous, right? This isn't something that's going to attract the masses. So here it is, you come and you start doing this sincerely. Yo, fam, drive faster, bro. Anyway, here it is. If you're doing the work of the Lord sincerely, you're not going to have these giant audiences where you're going on these shows over here, you're going over here, people giving you money here. You're doing videos on, like if you Shalom.
Shalom, Yabashmir Shabrakatam.
Perfect. Yabba Shem Shabrakata. If you notice the kind of videos, like recently the elder Manasseh Akbar did a video on from a clip from one of the IUIC classes. They were teaching them about pretty much the film aspect, right, of this ministry, where you got to make sure that your videos are high quality definition. You got to have the top of the top camera. You got to make sure it's smooth. The post production, everything is nice and good. Because if you ain't doing that, then you ain't get it. Because the film is really what's going to attract people and draw them in. No, it's the word. Because guess what? When you go back to 2007, or you know those early years, 2007, 2008, 2009, when most brothers started coming in, it wasn't because the elders were putting up some high definition, top of the top quality, videos. It's because of what they heard. They heard the word, it resonated with their spirit, and then they woke up. You know, back then, over 2,000 years ago, it wasn't because the disciples were walking around with the grandest, newest technology. It's because of the word that they were speaking. So it ain't about the quality. I mean, okay, it's not nothing wrong with having nice quality videos, but the word of the Lord is something that you are here to listen to. So even if there was no video, if these were just audios, right? Or even if the audio was slightly choppy, it's the information that's coming out. Listen, if you found a record, right? God, wow. If you found a record, you know, like an old recording, and this recording was like a top secret recording about what's going to happen in America in the next year, or in the video talks about what's going to happen at the end of, I don't know, 2024. And then in the video, it describes everything that has happened so far. But this video was made like 2 decades ago. So you start listening to this little cassette tape, and as you're listening, it's like scratchy, it's staticky, it's breaking up. You know, like you're trying to catch a signal on the radio, and then you'll hear in and out. But then you can hear him saying, you know, assassination attempt Trump. Then you might hear them say Biden, Kamala Harris. Guess what? You're not going to stop listening to it because the quality is not good. The content of what's being said is so intriguing that you're going to be like, I don't give a damn. I just need just a little bit to make out what's being said in here because this shit is real important. He's talking about what can happen in the next few months. And this was done 2 decades ago. So I'm trying to hear what's on this cassette. That's the same with the word, man. You know, it's not about, you know, all these other gimmicks. It's about the word of the Lord. So the point that I'm making here is when you start to shift your focus towards all these other things, meanwhile, when it comes to the actual important aspect of the scriptures, you're not even sounding that. There's something going on because your focus is not on where it should be. You got to perfect the breakdowns. You got to perfect the understanding of the scriptures. It's like the wise and the foolish virgins, right? And the wise virgins got regular lamps, right? And they got the oil because all they need is the light. But you got the foolish virgins that say, no, dog. Before you even get the oil, you got to get the newest of the newest lamp. This lamp got to be able to have Siri inside of it. It got to have Chat GPT. The lamp got to be able to tell you everything you want to know. Like, you know, you got to do all these things. You got to polish it, clean it, and all that. And then we can talk about the oil. Guess what? You spend all your time worrying about the lamp. When the time comes when you actually need a light, this lamp could do a million things, but it can't give you the basic function of a lamp, which is light. And now you're in darkness. And that's what's getting ready to happen. You can listen to them. They can give you the flyest garments. They could do these ceremonies. They could do these events. Hebrew and a Hellcat. Hebrew wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew marriage ceremonies. But when it comes time to have faith, you ain't got none. When it comes time to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you don't even know the name. When it comes time to get delivered, you're going to starve to death. Because guess what? You got everything in the world, but the basic thing, which is the most important thing that you need.
Bro, I was gonna say, even apply that to like with phones. Like if you look at a phone, right? This is no just anybody got an iPhone, but like a lot of people spend thousands of dollars on these iPhones. Think about what do you mostly do with iPhone? You receive calls, give calls. If you have certain apps, maybe your job that you work at has a certain app that they want you to download, and that's about it. And maybe if you like to play spades, sun, or chess on your phone, you have those type of phones. But you don't need a phone with all this type of stuff. But people spend thousands, 1,000, 1,500 on a phone that you only do about maybe less than 5 things on it. You don't need all those things. You just need a working phone to receive and to get and receive calls. That's it. That's the real purpose of a phone. Right? After that, everything is accessories. The little things, the things you can change up on your phone, the settings, that's accessories. The apps, it's a little entertainment that you accessories. That's it. So it's the same. There's nothing wrong with having a nice video. Like look at the brother Manatazak Bunyan. He does some excellent videos. Those are great. Don't get it twisted. But the point is the edification. He can have all that imagery of Godzilla, you know, the War of the Worlds. But if you don't have the scriptures to tie it in, it's like, well, what is this about? Like I'm just seeing a collection of pictures of movies. But what's the purpose of this, you know, pretty much all this that you're putting together? Like this pretty much a collage of videos. What's the purpose of it? Oh, you're tying it to the word. And if the word shows you, hey, this is like, you'll get like, let's say Revelation 13 or something, and have like an MOTV thing from a movie. That's like, oh, so you mean to tell me that what I watched in the movie is what's in the scriptures? I can read it and tie it in together? Oh, okay, it makes sense now. But if you didn't tie that in, what's the point of it? The word is what's important. Right? Got it, bro.
Yeah, Khan, hey, Shalom, Yabashim Yahushai, Rakatham once again. Real quick, I got a few precepts here just to back up your points that you were making. All right. And it goes into the hypocrisy of these other camps as well, right? There's a book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 27. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness. Okay, when you go into the concept of a sepulcher is a place where you bury people, right? But when they say it was whited, that means that it was polished, right? It was clean on the outside, but on the inside is what? It's dead man's bones. That's where you bury people, right? So it's a form of hypocrisy to make the you need to have the nicest videos, or you need to have the nicest production, or whatever the case may be. So that's an outward thing, right? Because it's for people who are on the outside looking in. But when you actually go into what they're actually teaching, you could say, oh, we have the newest technology and we have the nicest decorations or whatever. But when you actually go into what they're actually teaching, it's filled with death. It's filled with superfluity. Okay, and that's actually going to lead me to the next precept. All right, in the book of James, the first chapter, the 21st verse. All right, it says, wherefore, no, actually, let's start at 20. It says, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. So that's the key, right? Putting away all that extra extravagance, right? When you go to that word superfluity, right, in the online etymology dictionary, says an excess in number or quantity, and that's what this group is all about, right? Or numbers. You got all these men marching in the streets like freaking, hey, you got the KKK doing it, and then you got IUIC joining in, like, oh, the white people doing it, so we're gonna step in and represent the so-called black community. That's not what the Lord said for us to be doing. When did you see Yahushua, with his disciples, the 84 disciples, or all the other brothers that came after that? They're all in the streets marching, talking about, hey, we about to set up our kingdom over here. Hey, the Romans are out here abusing our people. Let's make a stand. You ain't see none of that. Okay, because that was never the mission. The mission was to, as it tells us in Ezekiel 3:17, to give them warning, bro. Because the things that are coming upon the face of the earth is not, you're going to wish you were told. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to turn around and say, well, we told you. It was already in the scriptures, number one. But see, the Lord gave you grace by sending us out there to tell you, explain what's in there for you, to let you know it's not something that's for thousands of years down the line where you might miss it. This is this very generation here. Okay, so we're explaining everything to you, so you have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And then you got the clowns like IUIC saying all kinds of different debauchery, man. Okay, again, their inward places is filled with dead man's bones, man. And you wait till the Lord exposes them. All right, we were talking about it earlier. You're gonna see some shit. The Lord is about to shake that group up, man. It's gonna be something epic. All right. It says condition of having more than enough. Okay, the top man in IUIC, so-called Bishop Net, he goes by so many different titles now. We don't even know what's going on, right? Apparently, it was the last year or so. Some information came out that this man is worth over $150 million or something like that. Like, that's excessive, bro. That is excessive. How much? What do you need all that for? To serve the Lord? Hey, think about it. The Apostle Paul said what? He knew how to be a base and he knew how to be abound. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot here. Damn. So ain't no nah, man. Yeah, nah, there's something burning over here, Salakia. Ain't no time for you to be out here like, oh, I have $150 million. You got people in the world that serve Satan directly and they don't even got that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these celebrities don't even make that kind of money, and they out there entertaining the masses and distracting them. And you here talking about you serving the Lord, and you worth over $150 million. What God are you serving? Huh? What God are you serving? Because Yahushua, when he was in the earth, he didn't have that kind of money. It says the Son of Man, he didn't have a place to lay his head. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? He was moving. He was always moving. He was never known as a rich man. Even John the Baptist. John the Baptist was living in the woods. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, man? What's going on with that? Again, your actions are showing who you really are and what you're really about. All right. It says excessive or excess. Okay. It says in physics, the property of flowing without viscosity or friction. Okay. Let's go down a little bit and then I'm gonna pass it back. All right. It says an unnecessarily or excessively large amount or number of something All right. So again, going into the whole point of extra, you're doing too much. Just go out there and teach. Niggas always got to come with some extra shit. Like it's always, oh, you got to get the uniforms, you got to get the equipment. You know, it's like you got to have a documentary style of delivering the word. Just give the word out, bro, and the elect will hear it and they'll repent and then move on. That's it. You know, we just grab a camera, right? Sometimes we got old phones, old computers and shit that them shits turn off while you're doing the videos and stuff. It don't matter. The work gets done and you move on. You see what I'm saying? And that's the point. All right, but you got it, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna add. The brother mentioned about the 100 million. That I think that goes to Bishop Nathaniel. I have a precept here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 3. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, and that's how certain members in IUIC act. They act very they don't take to the proper teaching of what things are, like the proper breakdowns. Like one specifically recently is the MOTB, where I think it was I think it's a Deacon Yahweh South, I think it was. It was him. Yeah, that he pretty much essentially, and I caught that when he said that essentially he was saying that the MOTB is sin. Now, if you think about it, if the MOTB is sin, right, doing iniquity, doing sin is the MOTB. Well, we've been doing that going all the way back to Adam. And Adam was the first, well, really Eve, but they were the first two to do that. So if you think about it, our lineage goes back, Israel goes back to the sons of God. So if we've been doing iniquity all the way from America, all the way going back to Rome, to Greece, to Medo-Persia, then going further back, to before the flood, during the sons of God, we all committed sin. And if sin is committing, if the MOTB is committing sin, then we all have it. So then now when you go to Yahweh Shai, his whole thing was about redeeming the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. If we have the MOTB, how can we be redeemed? Right? He pretty much he died for nothing. He died for no reason. And he didn't even catch on to what he said. And he said that. He said that without saying that. And then saying that the MOTB is sin, and that's incorrect. It's a device. When you go into the three Greek words, karagma, karax, and grapple. One tells you that's a cutting. One tells you that the instrument that's used to make the cutting, and then the other one is pretty much telling you it's a small device that's going to store information. What's doing that? It's over there in Sweden. You can look up YouTube videos. There's like 10 2-minute videos of them doing the same thing, saying, "Hey, guy had it put within him. He has a T-shirt. Hey, I got MC." Yeah, like it's right there. But they don't take to the wholesome words. So continuing, verse 4, he is proud, and that's how Bishop Yahweh is acting. Don't let nobody tell you that foolishness. It's what you call it. It's a micro thing. Don't let them fill your head with that nonsense.
So how is that nonsense though? Like if you really, somebody in the congregation should have said that. Should have raised their hand and said, "Wait, hold on a second. Can you actually disprove that it's not a device, it's not that?" And then go into how we break it down, and with everything we say, use the scriptures to disprove that. Because then you got to say, okay, it's not the device because you can't buy and sell with the device. Or you got to say it's not the device because the device doesn't get physically put inside you. You got to use the scriptures to disprove that what we're saying, because that's what we do, right? When they come out and say one thing, like you just gave an example, you use scriptures. You use the examples in the scriptures to disprove that it is not, or to prove that it is not sin. But you'll never hear them go into the scriptures and say, because of this verse right here, we can prove to you that the MOTB is not the RFID chip.
Oh, they don't even go into words.
They don't. And they don't even go to the 17th verse. That's too deep.
Right, and then like we don't sometimes tie to what your credit card. There's your credit card that has a little small device. So essentially, we'll say what they want to take that, minimize it, and put it to your hand. Is that like? Don't they show you that stuff in movies? Don't you see it? That's the way. But these are other things that they shy away from. They don't talk about, because if you think about it, if you talk about these things, you have to realize, hey, the world really is moving into a cashless society. Hey, having a device in your body does make sense. If you listen to individuals like Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab, all these things do make sense. So, yeah, what they're saying does make a lot of sense and tie in. No. That's not, no. You see, the Most High, I think he went to Deuteronomy 6. The word has to be on your forehead and your hands. But but that's the phylacteries. That's not that.
Man, damn. Oh, brother had a quick point.
Really, if you think about it, if a person in India had like a small bit of common sense, but common sense isn't common nowadays. But if they did, they will ask either themselves or in the chat or something that is sin. Can you buy and sell with sin?
Right.
Sin is not a physical thing.
Right.
And if you really think about it, all forms of currency have been a physical thing.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
Hey, also too, remember the people who are actually coming about with the fulfillment of this prophecy, they don't care about no Christianity, or they're trying to do away with that completely.
Right. Yep.
What makes you think that they're gonna come up and say, "Hey, the image is Cesare Borgia. Everyone has to worship the image"? Nigga, they're trying to do away with all that.
Right.
Did you hear what not Klaus Schwab? He said
Noah?
it too, but Noah Harari and Albert Pike. When you read the letter from in Morals and Dogma, when he wrote that letter to Giuseppe Mazzini about the 3 world wars and all that, he specifically talks about in the Third World War, you're gonna have the political Zionists going up against the Islamic Muslim world. That's exactly what you're seeing today, right now.
Yes.
Okay. He also said that Christianity is going to be disillusioned with all the things that's going to be happening and all that. That's what you're seeing now.
Yep.
You got the Olympics. That's all part of it. Okay, so they're doing a hardcore push against Christianity, against the Bible, but then they're gonna come in around and say, "Oh, listen, the image is this image here." What if you're a Muslim? What if you're an atheist? What if you're a Buddhist? These people take their so-called religions very seriously. So what's gonna happen to them? So they're gonna have to accept the image of Cesare Borgia. If not, they can't buy and sell. So then, how do you go about it? How do they? You think Esau really cares about that shit? He's implementing technology right now that's going to be under your skin, that you're going to have to prove you have that thing under your skin in order to buy and sell in this society. Where the whole game is changing, you're going to turn around and say some shit that doesn't even make sense. Even a 6-year-old or a 4-year-old will ask you, how am I going to be able to buy and sell with thin? That's a simple 4-year-old question, a 5-year-old question. You see? But yeah, you have dudes out here, grown-ass men, that they say things, and they can't even go into the words. At least go into the words, man. You know, go into the words and then go into the word charagma, all right, and you find out more about it. You know, go into that word charagma, you be like, oh, okay, it means this. But you notice they never go into those words. They just read it and then, yeah, it's talking about this. No, show us what is actually there. Go into the words. I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago, you know, and I was saying how this is what the IUIC members are supposed to be doing. Go into the words. All right, stop being what Apostle Hall calls them, zombies. Yo, zombie spirit is going to get you chipped up and fucked up. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, you're going to sit around talking about, it ain't no microchip. All the signs point to a microchip. They're creating that. That's the device. That's their end goal. That's the plan.
Right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I got some mosquitoes here, so just bear with me.
It's all
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that. You got it.
So the main point is verse 5, but I'm going to keep reading. So again, verse 4, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 4. He is proud, knowing nothing. And you can hear that when you actually know something and know the scriptures, you can see that the men of IUIC don't know what they're talking about. But doting about questions and strife of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, evil surmisings. Verse 5 is the point. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. So somebody knowing about Bishop Nathaniel, seeing, and gain doesn't just have to be money. If you look at him, you think, oh, God has to be, the Heavenly Father has to be with them. Look at his congregation. Look how much people is a part of the congregation. Look how much he's worth. This man is gaining stuff. He has so much. Obviously, the Heavenly Father has to be with this group, and it has to be dealing with this man. This man especially, and his congregation, those who follow him, must be men of the Lord. Absolutely. Look how much stuff they got. But what does Paul say here? Again, I read it. It says, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. So you see men like this who are putting themselves on a level, withdraw yourself. Remove yourself from these type of men. Because what? They're going to lead you in error. They're not going to lead you the proper way.
Right. And just like the point that Haram made, and see, it's very important that we do this, right? Because, like you mentioned, this is what the members of the IUIC should be doing. It's very important that we do this because if somebody's not scrutinizing these things, right, then you have people that just go along with the flow, that it doesn't occur to them in their minds to say that, wait a minute, that kind of actually does make sense. Let me Let me look into that. Or let me see what. That's what they do. Look, that's what they do in court. When you go to court, you got your case. The whole point is you got two sides. The prosecutors, the defendant, the lawyer asks certain questions that get people thinking, especially if there's a jury. That's why they'll come up. They'll say, "I call this witness to the stand," and when the person comes there, they'll ask him, "So where were you on blah blah blah?" And what they do is they question what is already assumed to be a fact. And then everybody's like, "Oh, wow, yeah, wow, we didn't even look at that." Oh, yeah, then you start digging out the truth. So our job is to scrutinize it, because at the end of the day, if you're truly telling the truth, guess what? It doesn't matter how deep we scrutinize it, we'll never be able to find anything wrong with it. That's how the truth works. And so you shouldn't be afraid of scrutiny if you're teaching the truth. You should be able to stand on it 10 toes. But like Aharon was saying, you got people that are not questioning. That's why it's very important that we do the lessons that we do. Because if nobody is speaking on these things and nobody is questioning it, then everybody's just going to go along with the flow. Even if they feel like something's wrong with it, they don't know what exactly it is that's wrong with it. And on top of that, first off, majority of the world it's not like the majority of the world are Christians. A lot of people are just there. They don't really believe in Christianity. They may believe in some other aspect of the scriptures. They may be this, they may be that. But not everybody believes in Christianity. So how are you going to get everybody in the world to kill everybody in the world if they don't bow down to the image of Cesare Borgia? How does that even make sense? It doesn't.
You had Noah Harari saying that basically AI and technology has become God, right? And they're going to use that. He said humans have become hackable creatures.
Yep.
So they worship technology. Scripture's telling the book of Daniel that what knowledge shall increase. When you go into that word knowledge, it means what? Scientia, which means to know. And that's what? Science and technology. So all that advancement that's going on, you think they're going to go with the same people that keep saying that, we're not talking about some God that's in the heavens somewhere, because the whole image of Cesare Borgia is supposed to be some Christianity kind of thing, right? Where it has to do with God in heaven and his son and all that, right? That's at least what they teach, right? So if that was huge motherfucker, if that was the case, again, the question would be, why would they have to turn around and say, we built a technological world that's ran by AI. We ain't doing no religion, none of that. There's a one world religion, which is worshiping of technology, worshiping of AI. But then we just going to sneak right in there and say, but by the way, the image of the worshiping of AI is going to be Cesare Borgia right here.
Right.
Nigga, what? What? When they're doing all this debauchery, you're going to turn around and say that's what they're going to use? It doesn't even make sense. Just worship this image right here. What the fuck? The image is talking about the system. Okay? And then within the system, in order to actually work within that system, you're going to have to comply with the new way of doing things. Right? It goes with your identity. Identity is the biggest thing. Esau is always about identifying you. Who are you? What are you about? I want to know what's inside of you. Right? What are you thinking? What makes you you? Because I want to be like God on earth. You think he's going to talk about sin? He doesn't even know what the concept of sin is. He doesn't even believe in all that. That's a religious aspect. Esau is not dealing in a religious aspect. Sin is normally associated with religion, the Christianity religion. See? Esau is not dealing on that type of frame right now. He's not dealing on that frequency. He's dealing on the frequency of ain't no religion, ain't no Bible, ain't no God, none of that. This is our new world we've created. How the fuck you gonna say now you're gonna just tie in Christianity to it? How? It ain't gonna work like that, man. So you people have to, scrutinize yourselves, like you were saying, scrutinize what you're saying, what you're teaching out there, and really dig deep and find out what the truth really is, because these people are leading you down a graven path, okay? Where you're gonna have to be engraven. You're gonna be marked up with that thing. They're gonna be the ones leading you to go take that thing, because they're telling you, oh, it's not no chip. So what is it? When the time comes, the government, the whole world around the world, they shut down everything. They say this is the new way. If you ain't with it, you out of society. What are they gonna tell their members? Huh? What are they gonna tell their congregation? That will go ahead and take it. You know what kind of judgment is coming with that, right? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Esau he doesn't have to do anything to get you to sin. You've been sinning before, like you mentioned before. Esau came into power, and he's coming to power. What does he need to do? He's just like, let him be. I don't need to usher in a time where I'm gonna try to make you think about sin or sin. Jake is already sinning right now. Look, man, put a random ass random dude that belongs in the street in another room with another man's wife and let her take off her clothes and see what happens when you come back 10 minutes later. You need to come and tell this guy that, hey, if you don't send him you can't buy or sell anything. You don't need to tell him that. You know, he'll do it. He'll do it by himself. That's how gone our people are. Okay. And the next thing is, okay, so if let's assume, right? Let's assume that the MOTB is not what we say it is. Then explain what it is. What is the actual CHIP and what role does that play in prophecy? Because clearly that's doing something in the world. The world is moving towards that area. So the Bible doesn't say anything at all about a time where they're going to usher in a digital system. And if you don't have it, you can't actually buy or sell anything. Because you know what's going to happen very soon when they actually implement the MOTB? People are going to start realizing that, yo, actually, if I don't have this, I can't work. If I don't have this, I can't. You know why a lot of people thought that the Vanessa was the MOTB? Because they started to realize that if they didn't have it, they couldn't work. If they didn't have it, they couldn't go certain places. If they didn't have it, they couldn't buy or sell certain things because certain stores wouldn't let them in there. And then they start to think of Revelation 13 and 16, right? They were like, this thing is awfully similar to something that is written in the Bible. Nobody's going around doing that when it comes to sin. And so when the actual device comes out and they implement it that way, people are going to start thinking, wait a minute. I know you said that, you know, this thing is not the MOTB, but I can't buy and sell anything without this. I can't start a bit. Like, I own the business, but I can't continue running it because I don't have this thing. They're not going to give me any loans. You know, I can't pay my rent. I can't do anything. I'm pretty much locked out of life without this thing. So is it safe for me to go and take it? Because I'm hearing people saying that, and guess what? It ain't going to be only us saying that. You're going to have people in the world that are not in this truth that are going to be saying that, hey, that's the MOTB is out here. We're not taking it. So people are going to start asking questions like, yo, I don't know, man, what's going on? And what are them bishops going to say? And you know what? If you don't believe us, watch what your bishops do, what your deacons do. When it comes out, see if they're going to be in line to take it. Because guess what? I speak as a man, but I believe that it's because they sold out that they're saying those things. They know in their right mind that indeed it is that CHIP. So watch what they do. Just like Bill Gates pushes the V's, but he will never give his children the V's. These doctors push that you shouldn't do, you should do this, but they wouldn't do it themselves. The dentists tell you go and get those metal, mercury-filled fillings, but they use a different kind. So watch these so-called leaders. When the actual device comes out, before any of you in their congregation take it, watch your leaders and make sure they take it first. If the MOTB is not the CHIP, tell Bishop Nathaniel to be the first one to take it in your congregation. And when you see him go and get that implant, then you go and get it. So you know that, okay, he's standing on business. He said it wasn't it. He's not afraid that he'll be destroyed if he takes it. So you know what? I've seen you do it. Then I'm going to be all right. You got it, bro. And then make your point.
I got a quick precept here just to back up that point. There's a book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? So the prophecies are the Most High's, the faith of the Most High, right? Because we have faith in that. These are the words that were written aforetime to give us warning of, oh shit, when we get to this part of the journey, this is what we're going to expect. And those of us who have the Spirit of the Lord to be faithful in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will make it through this part of the journey, because this is the most turbulent time of the journey, right? It's a long walk, but guess what? This part right here is filled with a whole lot of bullshit, temptation after temptation, and you're hungry, you're tired. It's always at the finish point or closer to the finish point. That's when you get all these things to distract you from finishing. You see? So we're at the point, the most pivotal point in human history, right? So there's going to be the most amount of distractions and the most amount of rebellion and the most amount of temptation that we're all going to have to face. And the Lord's not going to make it easy, right? That's the point. It's not supposed to be easy. You see what I'm saying? So it says what? For what if some did not believe, right? You have people who don't believe. You see what I'm saying? Oh, it ain't no microchip. It ain't this, it ain't that. Well, guess what? It's in the name. RFID, right? It's in the name. It's an identification device. And if Esau is out here pushing for a digital identification, what device do you think he's going to use, bro? You see, it's really not that hard. Boy, stop. Right? So it says, shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. right? So what's written in the scriptures is exactly what's going to come to pass. So if we believe what's written in the scriptures as is written, and we have the true understanding, then we know we're on the good path. We know we good money, right? It says what? It says, but every man a liar. It says, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mayest be justified in thy sayings, because everything we're saying is going to come to pass, right? Ezekiel 33 and 33, right? It says, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Okay, so we gonna overcome this, man. All right, because why? Yahushua is in our corner. He told us this back in Revelation 3 and 10. Okay, that he's gonna keep us in the hour of temptation. All right, so you got it, bro.
That's it. That's it. Go ahead. I think you had something.
I was gonna say that. Didn't they tell the congregation that they could take it, but they themselves they didn't take it?
Oh, when it comes to the Vanessa thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't even know if they had stick it. Probably not. Probably not. You know. But hey, like I said, man, the Most High ultimately at the end of the day is gonna bring everything to light. Because remember, man's goings are of the Lord. You know. So who knows? Like we've been discussing earlier, even before that time, the Lord can expose them as He's doing now. Got it. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go into Matthew 23. Because guess what? The Lord the Yahushai, the apostles, they all spoke about this. Because since even that time, you've always had those that were sincere, those that were teaching the correct thing, and then for the balance, you've had those that were misleading others, and then those that followed them. Okay, so this isn't anything new. It's just now it's life and death. You know, it's always been life and death, but now it's very, very, prevalent. Okay.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and 1. And it reads, Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Now we know that when you go into the history, you had going back to the time of the Greek rulership, right? A lot of the history of the Greeks ruling was really within what they call the intertestamental period, right? So between the Old Testament and the New Testament, because the Old Testament really ends around, in terms of historical wise, the Medo-Persian Empire, and the New Testament kicks off around the Romans in power already. So what's actually going on in between? A lot of that history is in the Apocrypha. Daniel even prophesied about it, but a lot of that is in the book of Maccabees, right? A lot of that history of the Greek rulership. So during the Greek rulership, we had a lot of persecution. You had a lot of Israelites fall off and leave their nationality. But through that, you also had those that resisted, and you had a lot of different sects that began to form through that. Okay, you had the Assyrians and so on and so forth, the Essenes, and then eventually it manifested over time into the sects you had as the Pharisees, the Sadducees, like you mentioned, the Essenes, and the various different sects during the time of the New Testament. So when you deal with the Pharisees, a lot of them were learned, right? It was their practice. Not like, don't get it wrong, it's not like the Pharisees were just airheads walking around. No, they knew. That's why they were so dangerous. They knew the law. They knew the scriptures, right? They knew these things here and there on a mostly right on a carnal level. What I mean by that is they were doctors in the law. They could go in here and show you that, hey, in this situation or in this case, this is the judgment that will come by. Right, same with the scribes. But when it came to the spiritual things, being able to discern, so okay, a situation here just happened, but there's no precedent in the scriptures, in the law, where this happened in the past time. What do? Do we rather show mercy, or these kinds of spiritual things that Yahushua brought when he came on the scene? They weren't doing those things. But the problem with some of these scribes and Pharisees was because of their knowledge of the scriptures, they were able to take advantage of others. So they could hold themselves not guilty for something that they would hold you guilty for. Why? Because though you would do the same thing, they would have a way or an excuse out of it to say that, oh, well, you did this, but I did it at this time, or I did it with this, or I did it with this intention. Therefore I didn't go off, but you did. But you did the same thing. That's the hypocrisy. Okay? So that's why Yahushua told the people, yeah, you can do what they say because they'll tell you the right things to do, but don't do as they do. Because you'll see this guy saying that, oh, you know what, don't do this, But then you'll see them doing it. You say, wait, I thought you said I couldn't do it. Yeah, well, guess what? You know, like for example, right? You're not supposed to be, they might tell you, you're not supposed to be carrying, you know, these heavy things walking on the Sabbath to this area. But you come around and see this guy doing it. And you'll say, wait, but you doing it? Say, well, I only did it 15 miles. And that's the limit that you can go a Sabbath day's journey. So I'm within the right things. But you went 16 miles. So you guilty. You off. Right? That's just a basic example just to throw out there. Right? But they had ways of getting out of these situations. Okay? And they were taking advantage of the people. Not all of them, okay, but some of them. Go on.
Verse 3. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works. See?
So don't engage in those. Don't follow their hypocritical ways. But the things that they tell you, yeah, according to the law, it's right. They tell you, look, you're not supposed to do this. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. The law, in the writings of Moses, in this part, he says that, and then they're going, okay, cool, that's fine. But don't be like them. Okay? All right?
For they say and do not.
Yeah, it's like going to a doctor, right? And the doctor tells you, hey, you're not supposed to smoke, so don't smoke. But you see the doctor on his break smoking like 10 packs. So yeah, listen to what he says because he knows what he's talking about, but don't do what he's doing because he's not following what he's saying. And if you say, I would rather follow what the doctor is doing because he's a doctor, then you're gonna mess up your lungs. Okay? As the scriptures say, one that teacheth many, but yet is unprofitable unto himself. All right? All right, go ahead.
Verse 4. For they bid heavy burdens and grievous unto the bone, and lay them on men's shoulders.
They bring them heavy burdens and they lay them on men's shoulders. Another example as to why when the I think it was at the Council of Jerusalem, why they didn't want to burden the Israelite foreigners or the Israelites that were coming in with the burden of keeping all the laws. Okay? Because then you're going to overburden them and there's going to be too much. Look, in anything, any practice, anything you go to do for the first time, they don't give you advanced level things. You're not going to go to first grade and you got to take a freaking AP calculus exam. Why would you do that? You know, they start you off with basic things. You know, things you see today in nursery or kindergarten, you got to write A, capital A, then you got to write next to it the lowercase a, then capital B, then the lowercase b. You got to do it for the whole alphabet. You know, they got it on each page. To us, we're looking at that like, man, I wish those are the tests I was taking. Right? But you're not going to tell a kindergartner, hey, I want you to give me a 2-page essay on explaining why, whatever, critical race theory. You're not going to do that. So it's the same thing. When you got somebody that first comes in, you're not going to lay this big-ass burden on them. They don't even understand half of the things you're telling them. So you got to go little by little. Okay?
But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
Yeah, so they'll put this heavy burden on you. You got to do this. You can't do that. You got to do this. You can't do that. But they ain't going to do it. Like somebody that's, here it is, we're all working. And this guy is just there telling you how to do the job, but he's not doing anything. Like, bro, we all got a job to do. You also got a job to do. But you're busy telling me how to do my job. I know how to do my job, but you're not doing yours. Then you're telling me how to do your job.
And then typically what happens is niggas like that, they get in the way. You know, they in the way. Like you doing your job, you pushing hard, and niggas in the way. You be like, yo, bro, move the fuck out the way. Don't you got work to do, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, you in the way, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, but real quick, I got a quick precept to back you up on the hypocrisy of these dudes, right? And this is from Yahushua. He said this, right? This is the book of Luke, chapter oh shit.
Yeah, we can hear you though. You just frozen on the side view.
Frozen? It's frozen? Alright, cool. Hold on. Let me back out and come right back in, alright?
Alright. Okay, cool. We'll be back. But yeah, keep going on that. And bro's got anything too, you know, feel free.
But all their works they do for it to be seen of men.
Yeah, see? So the things that they do is to be seen of men. What that means is they do things so you can see, hey, this is what we're doing. Right? For example, perfect. So for example, when it comes to maybe, I don't know, the Passover, they want to let the whole world know, hey, we are holding the Passover. We're holding it at this day, this time, commercialize it, buy your tickets, come in uniform, get some for your wife and your kids, you know, so it's seen, hey, this is what we're doing, you know. When they offer tithes or they offer alms, hey, everybody look at this, I'm offering this amount of money. So when they actually bring the money, are they bringing it because they actually in their minds are sincerely trying to offer this as alms or tithes? No, they're doing it because there's an audience. And ask yourself, if it was just them and this and then wherever it is they're offering this money to, would they really offer that much if nobody was there to see? No, because their motivation is others looking at them and saying, wow, damn, you saw how much money this guy offered over here? Wow, you saw how he came in on a horse? Wow, you saw how the women were crying and trying to hold him like he was Yahushua? Oh, wow, that's what they want. But if that hall was empty and there was nobody there, it was just like 3 people, and they were like, all right, go and keep the Passover, do you think they would be motivated to do that? No. You got it, bro. I know you had a precept.
Yeah, Khan. Hey, that's the spirit. It's the book of Luke, chapter 12, start off at verse 1. It says, in the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, right? And that's the disciples are back here again today, and we have the same spirit, we carry the same message that Yahushua left us 2,000 plus years ago, right? And that's why you see brothers always calling out these dudes and their hypocrisy, because it's written straight in the scriptures. The understanding is there. So when you're adding and taking away from it and then pretending not to, that's a problem. Okay, that's a huge problem. It says he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Okay, because it starts off small. Next thing you know, it becomes a huge thing, right? A lot of the things that IUIC teaches and these other camps teach that's going off, it always starts off with something, it might seem trivial, right? That's why you got dudes who can't see it in the spirit. They be like, yo, why y'all always getting on them? Nigga, you can't see that what they're teaching is wrong? It's like, why y'all always getting on them? It says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, okay? Neither hid that shall not be known. So, like we were saying earlier, all right, before we went on live, that a lot of things that these people have done, the kind of backdoor deals that they've done and all that, the Lord is going to expose all of that. And it's going to be a big thing. However the Lord is going to bring that camp down, that church down, that establishment, that 501(c) charter church that they built over there, whatever deals you made with the devil, bro, you're going to have to pay. All right, you're going to have to pay. You're not going to have $150 million of Esau's money and you're just chilling with it. You're not going to you're not going to be able to have a history of being a so-called police officer in New York, right? Which is a whole cult in and of itself. You're not going to be able to go through all that, come around, pretend to be a man of the Lord, and then be teaching wayward doctrine, and then you just going to get off scot-free like that. It doesn't work like that, man. Right? And it tells you now, is it 1st or 2nd Peter where it talks about judgment is going to start forth in the Most High's house? Second, right? Right? So the Lord is going to bring that judgment where you're going to have a lot of people. Is it let me see if I can pull it up real quick. 2nd Peter, let's see. There's a book of 2nd Peter, chapter first Peter, Khan.
20? 17. Yeah, 1 Peter 4:17.
4:17. Yep. Let's get that real quick, right? There's a book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 17. It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, right? Meaning those who know that they're Israelites, call themselves Israelites, and teach Israelites, but yet they're teaching wayward doctrine. The judgment is coming, okay? It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Heavenly Father? Okay, so you got a lot of people who hear this word, but they don't believe, they don't listen, they actually are rebellious to what we're saying, right? You got people who come up against the men of the Lord and think is all good. You got this guy, Ricky something,
Harris?
something, huh?
Harris? Ricky Harris?
Yes, Ricky Harris. A few years ago, him and his friend
Mike Epps?
Mike Epps, yep. And they were making fun of the prophets of the Lord. And what happened? The Lord took out Ricky Harris and put fear in Mike Epps to the point where he came around apologizing. You know, all that clown show, all that bullshit. When judgment hits, all that clown shit stops. Okay, all that bullshit, the foolishness, it all stops, man. All right, and that's what you're about to start seeing very soon. You're gonna see judgment flowing through the streets in the form of blood. You go, man, it's about to get disgusting out here. All right, disgusting. Okay, that dreadful name of the Lord that these heathens fear so much, the Lord going to turn that spirit on His own people, the wicked of His own people, man. And that's why you're gonna be like, oh shit, yo, what the fuck, damn. A whole entire apartment got burnt down and nobody escaped. Wow. Oh shit. Hey, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? There was a plane that fell from the sky. We were talking about it. And everyone on that whole plane got cooked. Nobody survived, man. Right? Soon you're going to be seeing a whole lot of that. You know, a whole building collapsed and everyone in there, boom, gone. Oh shit. A whole church building collapsed. Wow. Oh shit. You know, the Lord about to start taking cats out, man. It's going to be a beautiful sight to see. You know, for those who don't believe, you're gonna be calling on Christ and Jesus, and then the moment you open your mouth, Jesus Christ, you out of there. You know, they might send these ISIS terrorista niggas to come in these churches, these buildings, and start mowing niggas down. You're gonna be crying and screaming, "Oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God!" Blood everywhere. It's gonna be a mess. Okay, these streets, these rallies, these protests, all that shit is about to get wild. All right, these so-called gang members out there, the Lord about to put a spirit on them where they're gonna go buck wild, man. And they're gonna get away with it. Because the police ain't gonna want to fuck with them. Oh, I'm gonna put my life on the line to stop these criminals from beating up these rebellious ass people. No, you ain't gonna get no one to save you. 911 is not gonna be there. Police ain't gonna answer your calls, and you're just gonna sit there and have to take it and deal with it. Okay? It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, because we're not gonna be saved on our own merit or our own power, it's the Lord who's gonna be the one to save us. That's why His name is Yahushua, He the deliverer. Okay, He does it in every form or fashion. The Most High is always there through His Son to deliver us. Okay, it says, "Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Heavenly Father commit the keeping of their souls to Him in well doing." All right, and ultimately, well doing is doing His work in truth and in sincerity. All right, that's the mission. Okay, anything else outside of that is too much, is excessive, is superfluous. All right, it says. And it says, as unto a faithful creator. All right. And if Yahweh is Yahweh, Yahushai are faithful, then those who are faithful unto them are going to receive a gift. All right. They're going to receive all the promises that the Heavenly Father has promised those who have faith in Him. Okay. So we're waiting for that, man. That's why we're doing the work we do, because hopefully we are of that hopeful elect, where we're going to be able to receive of those promises of faith. Okay. That only comes by faith, man. Everybody else who comes around with all this bullshit, you're not going to get nothing but death. All right, that's what's coming. And we telling you firsthand, when it starts coming, you're going to be like, oh shit, those men were right. It might sound crazy now, but when the reality sets in, there's going to be a shakeup. There's going to be a huge shakeup. It's going to be the talk of the world. All right, it's going to be the talk of the world, man. All right, but you got it, bro.
John, might have time?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because he mentioned, Jesus Christ, how some people are gonna be calling upon that name, and it made me think of, like, people say in the Christian church, and I think we say it to some degree as well, that there's power in the name, and when judgment happens to these individuals, like the brothers mentioned, that judgment is gonna happen not just to those who are in the, who know that they're Israelites, but those who, don't know that they're Israelites, but maybe heard it. Oh yeah, I heard y'all say we're Israelites, this and that, but whatever. You're gonna see where the true power in the name really resides. And like one thing, that woman, I forgot her name, but is it Sonia Massey, the one that got shot by the cop? Is that her name? Yeah, didn't she say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ," and the cop still shot her? If there was power in that name, why did the Lord send an angel? Nah, you're not taking my woman, my child today. No. If there was really truly power in that name, she shouldn't have been touched.
Shit did what Neo did in the Matrix.
Right.
That shit.
Yeah, or it did when Neo first woke up and just stop the bullets and all that.
Hit it with the fire shit.
Right. But what? When, like the brothers mentioned, when judgment happens, when judgment comes, you're going to see those that call upon Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, and you're going to see them get delivered. You're going to see them eating. You're going to see them get delivered by an angel. Some miraculous thing is going to happen to where they're going to get delivered out of the situation. And you're going to have the other example of those that call upon Jesus Christ, and you're going to see them get destroyed. And, pretty much destroyed. It's going to be like, I thought there was power in that name, Jesus Christ. No, that was never the name of the Heavenly Father's Son. The true name of the Heavenly Father's Son is Yahushua, and there's power in that name. And you're going to see it, because some of y'all are going to need to see to believe.
Yeah. Because they read the scriptures and they realize that there's power in the name of the Lord, but they're using the wrong name. So they're thinking that these names, Jesus and all that, is the name of the Lord, but it's not. That's why there's no power in there, because you're calling on the wrong names. You got that? Oh, you have something?
Yeah.
All right, you got it, bro.
Psalms 113:1. Praise ye Yahweh, praise, O ye servants of Yahweh. Praise the name of Yahweh.
You know, these people that run around putting all this loud ass music obnoxiously. There's one thing to enjoy music while you're going, but just predict to the point where we can feel the vibrations on the ground. They need to get caught, like, because you know some of these CIA terrorist mechanisms, what they do for terrorists is they'll put, I think Haram was even going into it, they'll put some headphones on your ear that just plays loud ass music. That's it, just continually. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't see anything, and it's just continuous noise. So you can't sleep, you can't close your eyes. It's just continuous noise over and over and over and over. And you love loud music so much, you know, like in Saw games. That's what needs to happen to these guys.
Y'all ever watch the show Ozarks?
What is it?
Ozarks.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, so it's
I started
basically
watching it, but
it's about drugs and different shit that happens somewhere in the Midwest. I forget where it is, but it's this area called the Ozarks, and it's like this dude he's an accountant or something, and he gets involved with these drug guys. And the way that they get him, and they end up torturing him, and the way that they torture him is by playing that loud ass music, like rock, heavy metal, and like nonstop, 24/7. Can't sleep. He's just tortured by it. Yeah, hey, the Lord can do that. The scriptures talk about the certain sounds that they heard rushing the water. Hey, the Lord don't need that long to really make you afraid with sound. You know? Yeah, reading on, it says, Psalms 113:2. Blessed be the name of Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Because they'll say, well, back then they knew the name, but we don't know it now. No, and that's going back to IUIC. That's why what they're doing is so deceptive and evil and wicked, because their leader has a track record of knowing the name.
Right.
And he mocked the name.
Right.
You know?
He's like scorns.
Yeah. And that's why the IUIC doctrine, you know what I'm saying, is really honey dipped dog shit at the end of the day. You know? Because, yeah, there's some sweetness to it. They teach you that you're Israel. They teach you, you know, certain aspects of this truth. But when you get to the main meat and potatoes of it, they don't got it. The name, you know, the MOTB prophecy, you know, the implantable device. A lot of other things that now they're being nitpicked. Because once you go up on the name, you open yourself up for you to be analyzed on all the other different errors that you make. So then when you get it, yeah, there's honey around it, but then when you really put your hands in it, there's shit in there. You expected some honey, and then it's shit. So you're not even thinking about the honey no more. There's some sugar in there, but if you sugarcoat shit, eventually you're gonna find that shit. You know? So them guys, that's what they do with their doctrine. So it said, blessed be the name of Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. So it means back then, in the time of King David, during the time when the songs were written, and for the time of now. So the names Yahweh and Yahweh Shah will always be in the earth. All right, there was a time where it wasn't known, but now it's back in the earth. And from this point on, the name of the Lord is going to be magnified. The name of the Lord, and he's going to magnify it by judgment. And it says, from the rising of the sun unto the going down of the same, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah's name is to be praised. The Lord is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. So that's our power. He dwelleth on high, man. All right? Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah. So when you take away that name, and you're taking away the protection, you're taking away that hedge. The scripture says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. So you're breaking down all the walls of the tower, all right, and you're taking it away from our people. So they'll say, well, what's the big deal about a name? It's just a name. Christians say that shit a lot. But that goes to show you that you don't revere and you don't have the fear of the Lord in you. You know, it's like somebody asks you, oh, do you love your husband? Yeah, I love him. But what's his name? His name don't really matter, does it? Who cares, right? You hear that shit, he gonna kick your ass out the crib. Your shit gonna be on a curb when you get home. My name don't matter, bitch, right? So get the fuck out of here.
Don't matter where you sleep.
Yeah, it don't matter where you sleep then. And don't ask me for no protection either.
And when that new nigga that you're gonna find, when he beat your ass, when Jesus Christ come with a bazooka, all right, and them troops come to bust down your door, all right, don't ask me for help.
You gonna matter.
Call on him. Matter of fact, if I may,
Yeah, that's the thing too. The Lord, people forget that the Lord has a sense of humor. You know, the Lord has a very, 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 very like painfully funny sense of humor. I mean, he could put you in such a situation that it's so painful to you, and yet it's funny. You know, and then he reminds you about how it doesn't. Wait. My name didn't matter. You're hungry, so that doesn't matter. You know, you're hurt, but that doesn't matter. Remember? You know, and in a situation like that, man, you know, when you're in like real pain and you need help and somebody's laughing at you, that's like the worst thing, man.
I'll laugh at your calamity, yeah.
this shit ain't funny. I'm fucked up.
Right.
Funny to us. Judges 10 and 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Right. So go and cry to those guys. Go and cry to Christ. Christ the King. That's what one of them said in the last video Apostle Elder Tahar did. That's what IUIC is saying. Christ the King. Well, and when you go into the history on that name Christ, it's tied in with Serapis. Serapis Christus. And the followers of Serapis were called Christians. All that it means is anointed. See, so it's not actually a name. But if you're going to say that name, you have to edify and say, well, yeah, he's called Christ, but this is what that really means. Because it's tied in with other gods. See? So go crying to those guys. Go crying to Hare Krishna. Go crying to Buddha. All right? Old fat ass Buddha. You know? You know, who wants to follow a guy like that? The dude, he ain't even built.
I never even understood that thing for nothing.
Yeah, some big fat Moabite. Eglon. You know what I'm saying? The dirt came out. But you know, at the end of the day, man, that's all these different gods that our people want to worship. And that's the thing about Christianity too. It allows you to have, all right, well, you can worship the Most High, but there's Steve Harvey said that. He said there's many ways to God. There's this way to God, there's that way to God. No, there's only one way, and that's through his son, Yahweh Shai. That's the only way to the Most High.
This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and 4. And it reads, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place.
And just as the Lord brought judgment on all people then because of the idol worship, he's going to do it now because it hasn't changed. It's the same thing, you know, different setting. They're worshiping these other you know, false idols, these false gods, right? Calling them by different names. You know, when you read some of the scriptures, you'll read about like Molech, right? And then you'll find out when you look them up in secular history, they got different names. Milcom, you know, all these different names, but it's referring to the same deity. And they'll tell you that I think Molech was known by the Moabites as Chemosh, right, which was one of their gods. So you're like, oh, Chemosh, Molech, Milcom is the same deity, but it just called different things. Guess what? When you worship these deities, when you follow the term Jesus Christ or this guy or that guy, they all go back to different ancient pagan gods and idols. Okay? And when we try to tell you about that, you don't want to hear it. So the Lord said, and he's going to do it now, he's going to destroy all the remnant of Baal. That includes those that are followers of Baal, which in this case would be these other false gods, these pseudo gods, these pseudo belief systems and religions. And the Lord is first going to make you feel stupid for following them, because at the end of the day, when all hell breaks loose and everybody starts to call upon their gods and start to, because that's the initial thing they'll do under the deception. They're going to call upon the gods that they believe to be real, and they realize nothing is happening. There's only one person whose God is answering them. Then they're going to start to realize, oh, okay, maybe there's something going on over here. And then it's going to be consistent. And then eventually, you're going to go from calling upon your gods and nothing happening to calling upon your gods and calamities befalling you. More and more and more. Then you try to call upon our God and more calamity befalls you. So now you don't know who to call on. So you don't call on any God and then even more calamity befalls you. So you're pretty much screwed at this point. And then you're wondering, wait a minute. He says Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, he's good. I say it, I get struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying? He says that he's good. I say it, I'm getting hurt. What the hell is going on here? Okay? And people are gonna realize it's too late. You were playing with fire, and now the fire is ready to burn. Right?
And the name of the cherubims with the priests.
Right, which is going into the false priests, the false idols. Okay? Because just like the Most High has his prophets, these false gods, they have their priests, which tell you about them, right? Oh, when you serve this God, you got to do this. You got to sacrifice the kids over here. You got to do this. You got to do these rituals. You got to do that, and the third. Mediums, priests and priestesses, right? Go ahead. The Lord says he's going to destroy them all. And guess what? Whether you know it or not, if you're an advocate for Jesus Christ, you're one of his priests. So when all hell breaks loose and you see Jesus with an AK, because you're expecting a Middle Eastern guy with long, doggy, stringy hair, you might see him pull up in that white robe during the purge. And you're looking at him thinking he's your savior. You know, some of those scenes where it's light in the back, and then you see the figure, and it looks like you can't see the face; it's just a dark figure. And then the light aura is radiating off of them. So it gives you a perception of one thing, but when the light dies down, you see, oh shit, this is a different thing. So you're gonna see what looks like Jesus Christ coming with his arms open, and then the image is gonna die down. You're gonna see in his arms are AKs. You know what I'm saying? And then they coming to give you a hug, and you wondering what the hell? This is your salvation. You know? Go ahead. It's him, and there's none else.
And them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops.
Right. So those that are you know, they worship the stars, the constellations, because you have people that do that. Oh, this guy, the name was Belshazzar's mom. I forgot her name, but she was worshiping one of the moon gods. Okay. When you read into the history, it tells you that one of the reasons why his father, Nabonidus, left was to go and rebuild some of the temples for that moon god. I think it was the moon god was Sin for the Assyrians. So the moon god, they're worshiping the constellations, the stars, the moon, the sun. Or the Most High said he's going to do away with all of them. Go ahead.
And them that worship and that swear by the Lord and that swear by Malcolm.
There you go. So, and Malcolm is Molech. So what it's saying here, and that's why the Lord said you can't serve two masters. They're going on one hand feign themselves to be servants of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See, we can say the name. And then they're going to turn around, Jesus is God, Christ is King. Most High and Christ blessed. It's always that damn Most High and Christ blessed. You know what I'm saying? That's their version of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. It's Most High and Christ blessed. You know? Everything is Most High and Christ blessed. God bless you. You know? When that judgment comes upon your ass, man, the death angel gonna tell you Most High and Christ blessed. All right? Right before he slit your freaking throat. Oh, there was a scene from there's a TV show called The Purge, right? You had the movies, but they made a TV show out of it. And in this TV show, you had a dude who was going around, if I remember correctly, he always had this radio on, and he'd get in his truck, he had a mask on, and he would just be driving around with a big ass truck. And then you would have this truck going around, they find people and they throw them in the back of the truck. So this guy goes into this family's house, and what he does is he ties up everybody, right? The dad, the wife, the kids, and all of them. And as they're sitting there, I forget exactly what the deal was. Maybe he was telling them who should die first because he got the gun and shit. Now everybody looking at each other, and then he kills, I think, the mom or some shit, and everybody's scared. But the point is, he's taking his sweet time. You can tell, like, this guy is about to enjoy what he's doing because it's the purge. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So everybody's tied up. They got that thing in their mouth so they can't talk, and he's just getting ready, taking his sweet time. He got the radio on, playing that damn music, and he's getting ready. So now it's not just like you got a quick, simple death. It's you and your family, and everybody's heart is beating because you don't know, am I next? Is he next? Is she next? You know, then he takes this one out. Then he asks questions like he's playing a game with them. And that's what's going to be happening in these times. Look, people are crazy, but they're crazier when there's a death angel on them. You know, when the Lord sends this death angel, like imagine a child taking a child to Toys R Us and telling them, go out there and get whatever you want. It's on me. And then after that, we'll go get ice cream. You know, that's how it is when the Lord unleashes these death angels. They're gonna come out like it's a eighth graders going on a field trip for a field day, right? They gonna run all out on the street. You know what I mean? You know, they gonna jump into these dolls. They gonna jump into these animals. They gonna jump into these people, right? Because he's a host. Next thing you see, nigga Chucky jumping out the freaking bus stop wallpaper. You know, the nigga looking at you, and next thing you know, wow. And you thinking it's just a doll. This nigga, you see how fast that doll is. You know, he coming after your ass. So the Lord is gonna do some horrific things. And you might have somebody running and they just might die based because their heart is beating too fast because they're afraid and they just drop. Then he comes for the next one. And let me tell you something, man. A lot of people can't run. No. A lot of people can't run for shit. Men, women, and children. They cannot run. When you look at them, they got that little face. And you look at them like, it took you 5 minutes to run across the street. If that car wanted to hit you, you'd be flying down by now. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes when I see people trying to run, I imagine like, damn, if all hell breaks loose, where are you going? And then it's not like, okay, I can't run, but I could defend myself at least, right? They can't do none of that. And yet these are the people that talk the most shit. Like the video I put in the chat, shut your bitch ass up, Miss Thompson or whatever her name was.
Yeah, to add to your point, there's a study that came out. It had to have been Babylon because this place, everybody's out of shape. But they said 95% of men over 30 cannot run a sprint. Like, that is a wild statistic, bro. And then they showed a video of these guys. They were supposed to like sprint for like fantasy football. Every one of them threw out their leg trying to sprint. Every single one. They kept running. They get to a certain point. Fucked up. But what y'all gonna do when that bear turns the corner? What y'all gonna do? Like brother said, Chucky and Jason pull up around the corner on your ass, man. The demons come searching for you, and they hungry for blood. You know they're gonna do what the Lord commanded. Hey, the demons rejoice to do the Lord's will too. The angels and the demons, and they do it on the left hand, just like the lying spirit that got sent to Ahab's prophets, set them up. The Lord was pleased with it. The Lord loved that idea because the Lord is the one that gave him that idea. But you know, that's just how the Lord had it play out. I'm gonna have this left hand spirit come. I'm gonna tell him, and then he came and he said, "I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets." Boom, came through. All of his prophets, yeah, you're gonna prosper, man. Even Micaiah was like, "Hey, you're gonna prosper," because he knew he's a wicked nigga. Yeah. Hey, you got it, man. No, you're gonna do it, man. Yeah, you're gonna get that W. Like, Micaiah, why are you lying to me? Tell me the truth. And he still rebelled against it. That's how these wicked niggas be.
Yeah, like when they asked Jeremiah whether they should go to Egypt or not, and he went and inquired of the Lord and told him the Lord said no. They said, "Nigga, we still going, and we take you with us." So why the hell did you have me inquire of the Lord? Because that's Jake will tell you to do something, and they think that the answer is going to be what they want to hear. But when it's not what they want to hear, then everything is out the window. A so-called Christian will come up here because they think we're going to tell them the sweet Jesus truth. And when we don't, they're going to leave a disbeliever. Well, I ain't believing the Bible anyway. It's written by man. You've been going to church for 30 years. And you ain't believing the Bible anyway? There's something wrong with you.
They're not rooted. That shows that you have no foundation. You don't really believe. You just do it because you think that it makes you look right.
Yeah, I got a quick done.
Jeremiah 2:27, saying to I'll read from 26. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests and their prophets.
It said a thief is ashamed when he is found?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're caught in the act of wickedness. Right? And how embarrassing. Oh, here's a perfect example. You ever seen them videos where these delinquents go to try to rob a store and then they get locked in there? And then they go real quick from tough guy to now, please, just let me out, like a freaking caged rat. Dude comes up in there. Oh, there was another one where the dude came in there with a gun, and then the store clerk wrestled the gun out of his hand. Now this dude humble. No, please, don't do this, man. Please, no. And that's that shame, because now you're caught doing something that you knew was wrong and you shouldn't have been doing. So that's why the Lord is likening the Israel onto a thief that is caught, in the middle of stealing. Because you've been doing all this wickedness, and now you've been caught. It's time for consequences.
And that's why they will go to the groves a lot.
Right.
Frolicking under them trees, under the cover, because where you get the shade, the light, You know, it's a darker place. So it's easier for you to duck off into these forests and groves and go commit idolatry and do all types of wickedness. Like Bohemian Grove, that's what they do.
Like,
The elite.
I'm an undercover liar. I lie under the cover.
So it says, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth.
You know that? And that's them worshiping these idols. And the stock being, if I remember correctly, is pretty much like a actually look into that in the blue letter. It might be, I'm thinking of a tree, you know, like a tree stump or something like that. It might be something else. Oh, they're talking about the stock like a bird with the long legs and shit. Let's see. And then it says to a stone, meaning the idols they've crafted from that stone, they're saying thou brought me forth, meaning that you're my God. Right? And they bow down to them, right? In the groves. And the grove is really just a gathering of trees. You know, that little under those trees over there. That's where they have these idols. What we got?
The word is Itazak, and it says, I could be wrong, so it's like it says tree, wood, timber, stock, plank, stalk, stick, gallows, trees.
Yep.
That's for stock. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was imagining, like a tree stock or whatever. So they bow to those because it is from those that they make the idols. It is from those that either they make like stone idols or wooden idols or whatnot. And as it says, thou art my father, or you brought me forth. So they're bowing down to them, worshiping them as though they are their creators. That's what a father is, right?
Hey,
like
that's
how-
it's like you got it, bro.
No, just a quick point. It's like how Jake be having them crosses. They made that cross into an idol.
Right.
Which that's the symbol of Christianity. Where in the scriptures does it say you got to wear the cross that represents the pain and death of the Lord around your neck? If you think about a sacrifice, it's supposed to be in your spirit. You don't got to have a cross on so people know. You're supposed to have that. That's an inward thing. That ain't for the whole world to see. Got it, bro.
Yeah, it goes into what they call virtue signaling, right? Just it's like, oh, you see me doing this, that means I must be a good person, so treat me different. No, nigga, you wicked as hell. These people that always do that virtue signaling, the most wicked people are normally Christians. They're the biggest hypocrites and the most retarded people on the earth because they have no idea what their own religion is even talking about. And then when you ask them a few questions, that's when you know, like, oh yeah, you just not you under some type of spell that even a Muslim could repent before a fucking Christian. Sometimes it's that bad, you know. But I was gonna make a point and go back to what you were saying about how they worship the trees and all that. That's where the whole concept of Christmas comes from, right? The whole Christmas tree. It goes back to the ancient Babylonians when they used to have trees, right? These tall ass trees, the evergreen tree, yeah, the evergreen tree, and they believed that those were they had spirits in them, so they used to worship them. They'll go out in the woods and worship them because they said that those trees pretty much were on year round, right? So those might be the spirits in there watching over us, you know. So they'll go in there, the groves and all that, and what they used to do was there are certain times of the year where they have something known as the Druids. The Druids will go in there, they wear all black, they go in there and they do all kinds of sacrifices and so on and so forth over there. Now it got to a point where they started to bring those trees into the houses. So the whole concept of Christmas, getting the tree, that's what it tells you in Jeremiah the 10th chapter about. Yeah, I got you, brother. About the tree. One cutteth the tree, the workman of an axe, whatever, and then puts it on his car, brings it home. They must needs be born. All that. It goes back to the Babylonians. So Jeremiah was specifically speaking about that ritual, about that whole worshiping of trees and so on and so forth. And I believe there's a precept where he was even asking them. He was like, all these things that you created, how do you turn around and say that those are your gods? You got to move your gods. When it rains, it pours on them. They can't shield themselves. How much more shield you? Shit, it's your God, but you got to be the one to move him around when it gets windy, or protect him, put him in some type of protective covering so it doesn't get moldy, or rain don't touch it, or termites don't come and eat it and eventually break it all down. Like these are things that you made with your hands, but yet you turn around and say these are our gods. It shows you how stupid these people really are, you know. And that same spirit is what they have today, right? They worship a custom that was created by man, known as Christianity. All these other religions were made by man. It was constructed by man to have some form of order. They teach you something known as hell. Hell is a control mechanism. Okay, the whole concept of Catholicism. The word Catholic means universal, Everything about them is let's bring everyone under one banner so they can worship under one, and then we can have control over that one thing that people worship. That's it. See? So when this truth came out, it's such a what's the word? An outlier. It's a difference in the whole entire ether realm. That's like, yo, what are these guys talking about? This is unheard of. Like they're bringing out points that we never even ever went into. Like we didn't even know that this was even in the Bible.
Right,
You see?
right, right.
So it done changed the whole entire game. Like, oh shit, like they're going into other things that's like you might not see RFID chip, but they're telling you exactly what it is even before it comes out. Like, whoa, there's some different level type stuff. We need to find out what's about these men. You see? So that's exactly what you see. The whole concept of confusion, debauchery, wickedness, you know, people creating gods that they can worship. It's all confusion. You know, it's all confusion. And you could sit there, you could imagine what the Heavenly Father is thinking up there. He's just like sitting down, looking, he's shaking his head every day. Like, my people, what have you become? You see, what have you been? That's so sad thinking about it. Like, damn, Lord, like you made these people to be special unto you. You gave us the best of the best. We have the best land. We got the best customs. We have the top nationality on earth. The customs, the laws, everything. You see, our power is like his name is dreadful among the heathen. You know, he delivered us from the Egyptians. Look at all the good that he's done for us. And our people come in here and they do nothing but rebel against him, you know, on a daily basis. You know, some people create forms of rebellion. Look at the IUIC. They don't even reverence his name anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. They can come out and claim to be men of the Lord, but yet they're not even going to come in the name of the Lord. Like that's, oh, and the Lord is looking, he's looking at it. He's like, you know, and that's why he's going to destroy them.
But he's pissed off.
He's pissed off. You know, he's got so, it's like, it's not even sorrowful. It's just anger at that point. You know, that's why it says his indignation. That's righteous anger. When that fire comes, that besom of destruction comes, you're going to see the wrath of the Lord in that sweeping fire, that cleansing agent. You see? And yesterday I was outside, I was looking up in the heavens, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty far up there. You know, I was seeing some chariots moving. I was just looking up and I was just thanking the Lord. And I was like, Lord, very soon, Lord willing, very soon, we're going to be up there looking at this place go down. I said, damn, like, we're going to be high up there looking at this place get torched. And that's coming in a few months, man. That's crazy to imagine. You see? But it's all coming. We pray Yahweh Shemiah shall protect us so we could see the destruction of the wicked that's over here and the wicked of our people. All right. They majority of them are the reasons why we're in this in the beginning. So when that judgment comes, may Yahweh Shemiah shall protect those that seek him. All right, sincerely seek him. Okay? But you got it, bro.
Yeah, Con, and yesterday I saw that video that you saw the video you put up. You know, it wasn't funny. I was gonna share it, but I didn't share it because he's gonna call me and I was trying to go to sleep. So I was like, you know, I ain't gonna share it yet. You don't know I'm awake, so I ain't gonna do that. So but no, I saw that video, the one on where the woman was committing adultery with her man. Where the guy, and I mean, I was just like, you know, in 2 weeks, you know, you watch it, and honestly, you don't even know how to feel anymore. It's like, I'm too tired to get pissed off at it, and it's just like, I don't even know how to feel disappointed about it anymore. I think what was most disappointing was the fact that you're tired of being disappointed by seeing these kinds of things. You're like, damn, like, I got tired of even being mad. I got tired of even being disappointed in this shit, you know? And you watch it, and it's like, yo, dude comes in there, and like he says in the video, it's been like what 2 weeks, and that's still supposed to be his wife, and she's already getting popped by some other dude, and the guy's in there like, can I be excused? I did not know what was going on, and that's the thing about the wickedness of these women, because she gets this dude to commit adultery, and he doesn't even know he's committing adultery. She's the one. She knows what she's doing. That's why the scriptures say of her is the beginning of sin, because she set it all up. She committed adultery on her husband, also including another man in it. So now he's guilty of adultery, even though he ain't even know. So now the dude is coming in there, and you can basically hear the pain in the guy's voice. You know, he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'm out. I'm just taking my stuff and leaving. But you know, like, you know, your conscience to bother you, bro, because that's somebody's wife. That's my wife right there. It's literally been 2 weeks, and she already popping and riding on another dude. Imagine walking in and seeing that another dude is naked on your couch, and your woman got just a t-shirt on. You know, because at that point it's like, damn, you're gone. You know, there's no, like, nothing you can do at this point is gonna undo that. That's the big problem here. So I'm just looking at it, I'm like, damn, man, like, imagine the pain that this guy is in, because he's like, yeah, like now that's why the Lord described it as the land being greatly polluted, because there's nothing you can do to cleanse that. It's done. So I'm now like, damn, no wonder. So if you see this and you get pissed off, imagine the Lord where he looks to his left and it's there. He looks to his right and it's there. He literally looks down and everywhere. This is one video that we happen to see, right? But imagine within the amount of time it took us to see this one video, the Lord is seeing all around the earth, all this form of wickedness. That's why he flooded the whole world, because on every corner, it was just violence, wickedness, murder, all of these things that are going on. And the Lord is looking at it like, damn, these people really don't regard me for shit. Like at all. Motherfucker, like he's sitting there on his throne and he's like, you got the angels in here, which are so strong. I mean, any instances of the scriptures, everybody was afraid of the angels. And these angels are trembling in the presence of the Lord. And he's looking like something must be wrong here, because why the fuck are these people who are you're stronger than them, you trembling in my presence, and look at the shit they're doing. Like they don't even regard me. It was even more infuriating is it's not just like they don't know, because I've sent my servants over there. So now they know that there's someone like me out here, and they're still doing this shit in the faces of me and my servants, not regarding me. So the Lord, and you know what? That goes to show the long suffering of the Lord. Because do you know how easy it is for him to really destroy everything? Like, it's so easy for the Lord to just crush everything if he wanted to. And you know, it takes a lot of self-control. When somebody you can crush very easily is acting very proudly and very disrespectful towards you, and you know, it literally just take a backhand and they're right back in their place. It's like the slightest thing they do could trigger you to, you know what I'm saying? But imagine that level of disrespect, all that violence going on. But then you can imagine, right? The Lord thinks about, you know what? I have a time that I've dedicated for judging this place. So it's all right. I'm going to just wait till that time. And that's why when that time comes and the Lord unleashes the judgment, that's why the prophets were like, it's a time like never before. Habakkuk said, damn, Lord, did the trees, you know what I'm saying? Were you mad at the trees, the rivers, the waters, everything? And that's why the Lord says, I'm going to need to send them angels to guard the elect, you know, and get them up out of here, because that fire, you can just imagine how hot, how intense that fire of the Lord's jealousy is going to be when he unleashes it, because of all the shit that's going on over here that he's constantly having to behold. Anyway, I forgot what the word.
Oh, Shalama had a point real quick, and then I got a precept.
I was just gonna say, what you just said, I meditated on that, like I think about a month ago. And when you think about it, I'm not saying that the Most High is gonna do this, but we're dealing. You gotta understand the type of God that we're dealing with here. Like the brother was saying, essentially, if the Most High wants you, I'm not saying that he's going to. If the Most High wants you, he could sit there and say, "Look, really, I'm the Most High. Fuck all y'all. Fuck my promise. Fuck everything. I'm just done with everything. I'm just done with all y'all. Lord, you made a promise. Fuck that. I'm the Most High. What you gonna do to stop me? I'm done with y'all. I'm tired of seeing this shit. I don't want to see it no more. Yeah, I know I made my promise, but fuck my promise. I'm tired of y'all, man. I'm done with all y'all. Your house, you did the work. You good. You get to stay. But the rest of y'all done. That's the type of God that we're really dealing with. I'm not saying that he's going to do that. He's not going to do it. He's not going to break his word. But you got to understand, that's the power that he has, that nobody can say anything and stop him. Really, if he wants to, it's like, Lord, your promises. Yeah, but what can you do if I want to go back to my promise? You can't stop me. There's nothing you can do. Like, that's what we're dealing with. And it's like people are just aggravating. It's like you're saying, like, yo, I could just take the earth, y'all shall move, and just that's it. All y'all are done. Y'all done before. And y'all just keep pissing me off doing this, doing that. And it's like, y'all know I could Thanos snap y'all, do whatever.
Yep, and that's a spirit of a Jake, you know.
You got it, bro.
That's a spirit of a Jake, intense heat. That's why Esau is very careful, especially nowadays. They're trying to seeking to please the poor, because they seen Jake is starting to rise up on some. Now we don't agree with this shit. Now our eyes are open to the bullshit that y'all been putting us on this whole time. So now we got questions. Send us some of that money. Don't talk to us about our color and women and all that. No, we don't care about that. We want money now. So give us some government grants so we can open our businesses too. We don't want to hear about Asians getting bread and we ain't getting shit. That's what Jake is on right now. They question the whole Kamala thing. Like, nah, we don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear about you being a black woman. We don't want to hear none of that. All right. So Jake is starting to push that rebellious spirit even to the system. And remember what the prophecy says, that when Judah rises up, everything is going to turn upside down. And Judah is starting to get into that spirit of rebelliousness. And when Esau tries to quell it, like they used to do back in the Roman times, there was mad wars during the time of the Romans. The Judeans versus the Romans, it was on and popping a lot. You know what I'm saying? And Jake used to get slaughtered, the Romans would get slaughtered, but it was back and forth. You know? So they know that, yo, if we piss these people off and they get band together, the distractions of putting gangs against each other and putting drugs in the communities and putting guns in the communities and pushing for violence, black on black crime, if these people neglect that aspect and they come together and they say, nah, fuck this is affecting all of us, we coming together, we're going to kick your ass, it's game over. And the Lord is going to do it in such a way that the moment Jake rises up, you got all these other, the northern kingdom that came over here, they're going to feed into that same energy too. You know what I'm saying? Because Judah rises up, all the tribes are following after Judah. So they might first come in here with the spirit of rebelliousness, or we fighting against ya, but the Lord is going to put a spirit on them where they're going to come together and start whooping on Esau and them. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be a beautiful sight to see. But ultimately, what's going to happen, as Shalomah was saying, that it's easy for the Lord to just bring that judgment just like that. That's why this place is going to be done away with within 1 hour, over with. All right? But there's a build up to it, right? And as it says here, this is a book of Isaiah, chapter 13, start off at verse 9. It says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. Why? Because he's been long suffering. He's been holding it in for so long. When he finally unleashes, like I said, a Jake, when he finally unleashes, he's unstoppable. All right. When a Jake's, you might have a Jake that's real calm. You know what I'm saying? He's like calm. Every day people pissing him off and he's calm. And then one day he snaps. And then when he snaps, it's like, oh shit, this nigga's strong as hell. They're bringing cop after cop, and he's just standing like moving, motherfucker. Yo, get the fuck off me, man. Yo, get off me, man. You've been doing this for mad long. I've been saying, yo, chill, and you finally got on my last nerve. It's over for yo. And if you're not careful, you take that motherfucker's life like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't feel no pain or even break a sweat. Okay? So think of the Heavenly Father like that. Like, yo, damn. Right? It says what? It says to lay the land desolate. It's not parts of the land. No, he said the whole land is about to be desolate. All right. It says what? And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So the land is destroyed, and those who are on the land are going to be destroyed too. Right? Notice it says the sinners thereof out of it. Okay? It says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Because when you have those, that day is going to be a dark day. Right? Not only are you going to have the clouds or whatever, Bill Gates trying to block out the sun and all that good shit, right? But also when the missiles are shot off, right? There's so many of them that is going to block out the sun. Okay, one missile hits, right? The explosion goes up, the sky is all filled with smoke and all that. You're not going to see no sun coming through. Remember last year? Was it last year or the year before? I believe it was last year, where you had the smoke thing that was coming from Canada. They were saying there's smoky skies, whatever, right? It was hard for you to even get the sun to come through because you could even see the sun. It was like a small little orange dot in the sky. You're like, damn, like this smoke is thick, So imagine when the missiles hit this place, right? All in different states, all at the same time like that. Like one missile hits, boom, and then a few seconds later, another one hits over there, boom, and another. It's going to make a plume of smoke where it's going to be dark. Everywhere is going to be dark, and smoke is what? It's dark. It's like tar. It's dark, color. Right, so you're gonna have all that with the fumes and the explosion of the gas stations and the oil reserves and all these different places, the factories that have all kinds of electricity going through. When all these things hit, pop, pop, boom, boom, everything is just gonna be exploding just like that. You know what I'm saying? And the aftermath, the dark smoke is gonna cover the whole skies. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be up low, willing, looking down at it. But if you're in here, it's game over, bro. It's game over. And that's why it's gonna be so much that the merchants, the shipmen who are going to be on the oceans, on the seas, they're going to be able to see that smoke going up, as it tells you in Revelation, the 18th chapter. You see? So continuing, it says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And what do we see in America now? The theme since 2020 has been a heavy spirit of exactly what we're seeing here. Wickedness, iniquity, arrogancy, pride, right? Haughtiness, okay? All that shit has been balled up into one, which is known as the New Age American New Normal. And that's all you see is just straight fucking folly and wickedness, man. And that's paving the way for this prophecy to be fulfilled. Okay, because once the missiles hit, all that stuff is done away with in one shot. The Lord is cleaning up all the cancer. He's not letting one go. And then guess what? Them over there in Tel Aviv, they also gonna get cooking too. All right, they're gonna get a whole lot of cooking over there. The Lord is gonna cook all them motherfuckers over there too. All that wickedness that they do over there and permeate over here to America, they're also gonna be getting that judgment. Okay, so don't think, oh, I'm gonna sneak my way into wherever you may be. The Lord could have an angel come snatch your ass up and bring your ass over here to Babylon and get cooked. Right? He took Habakkuk. He sent an angel to grab Habakkuk by the locks and sent his ass over to Daniel in was it Babylon, right? Sent his ass over there to feed him when he was in the lions den, right? And then brought him right back into the land of Judea. So the Lord could do that. He grabbed a whole bunch of sent angels, yo, go gather all these people, beam them up, and then send them over here to America and just drop the asses in there so they could get cooked too. You might see yourself walking around, all of a sudden you get view, and then you appear and you walk in Las Vegas, Sin City. Like, oh man, how did I end up here? Where do I go? What do I do? In 15 seconds, there's a missile gonna be hitting, so find your nearest shelter. Yeah, you wicked ass niggas, man. You gonna be driving in your car thinking you about to commit some more adultery and shit. The Lord jack your ass up, send you to a different spot, and then boom, you about to eat missiles 10 seconds later. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, the Most High is not to be played with, man. All right? All these things we just mentioned, these are just examples. But the Lord is going to do something even greater that we're going to be like, oh, shit, I didn't even think of that. Damn, Lord. You know, it's all coming. It's all coming, man. And these days are fast approaching. All right? Let's get it. You got it.
That precept? Isaiah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And when it happens, the glory of the Lord his name is going to be magnified. Because look, man, when you go back to the time of Egypt, the way the Lord got his glory wasn't through gift giving. Okay? Or you could call what he gave to Egypt a couple of gifts. But those were through terror, through destruction. That the Lord's reputation was with fear. That's how we knew the Lord. Right? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it was through fear. And so when we went to Jericho, they knew about us, they knew about our God through fear, because we heard what he did to Egypt. All right? So go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and 8. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another.
And in the Hebrew, it'll read, I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another. So that's the thing right there. You got a lot of people that believe in other religions and other beliefs, and they give the glory to another, another name, another deity, without giving it to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Meaning, in actuality, they may call upon their gods and nothing happens, but then, sometime along the line, the Lord does something and then it benefits them, and then they attribute that to the God that they're praying to. Okay? So they're giving that glory to another God that's not Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And the name matters. It's not a matter of, oh, we serve the same God, we just call him different things. No, you gotta call him by the same name. Because there's still differences in the characteristics, all right, that are attributed to the name Yahweh. Exodus tells you that he's a man of war, right? Y'all doing that verse? Okay, get that.
Neither my praise to graven images.
Yeah, neither my praise to graven images. So when like we read earlier, when you bow down to this wooden idol or this stone idol, and you say you are my father or you brought me forth, you're giving the glory of the Creator. You're taking that from the Most High. You're giving that to these idols, to something that you created. That's disrespectful. That's you stripping the Most High of his glory, his title, and giving it to something that you made. And in the book of Romans, it talks about that, how they worship the creature more than the Creator. The creature worship the creature more than the Creator. And yet, you've never seen these idols actually do anything miraculous. That's one thing people never stop to think about. Wait a minute. Your idols don't actually ever do anything. You just think that they do things, but they never actually do anything. When you deal with the time, I believe this was in the book of Samuel, where
This God, something
the Ark of the Covenant.
and then this God, I think, with the young boy, they have to come and lift it back up. Why can't your God stand up on its own? And they came back then, It was on the floor. You know, I think it was like cut in half or something. Like that.
Right. Then they started getting hit with the hemorrhoids and all of that, which are plagues by the Lord. And then eventually they realized, yeah, we got to get this out of here. We got to get this ark out of here because there's a force that's dealing with that. And what do? They got it up out of there.
There was another Daniel with Bel the dragon. If Bel was so powerful, why didn't Bel stop him? Stop Daniel from killing? This is a god. Let it fight. Let it fight for itself. Let it protect itself. Why is it you guys got to come along and protect it?
Right. Then they threw his ass in the lion's den for that. But wait a minute, they should have been more concerned about the fact that their God just died. Oh, wait a minute, it's a God. How did Daniel kill it? Yeah, that whatever concussion he made when he put it in the dragon's mouth, the dragon should have been like, I eat those. You know what I'm saying? Yep, ate that. Now what? You know? That dragon was gone. Long gone. Then the people got mad. And it goes to show you, man, the mindset of people. Anyway, is that it on that? Now let's jump to what we have before. Yeah, let's finish on that.
Zephaniah 1 and 6, and it reads, and them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him.
Yeah, see, so the Lord is going to bring judgment upon those that are turned back from the Lord. So at one point, you were serving the Lord. At one point, you were calling on his name. At one point, you were doing what he required you to do, and then you turned back. Okay? For whatever reason it was, stop doing that. And the scriptures tell you that the latter end, I forgot what chapter that's in, but it talks about when a man, spends his whole life serving the Lord, doing what he got to do. If he stops and he commits iniquity, his latter end is going to be remembered, and he's going to be punished and judged for that iniquity that he has done. Versus a man who I think is in Ezekiel 3.
Ezekiel 3, yep.
Ezekiel 3? All right,
yep.
We get that too. Versus the man who does all wickedness and then repents at the end and does right, like Manasseh, then the Lord is going to forgive him. Okay? So as we're reading off over here, those that have turned back from the Lord, those that have not sought the Lord, that's what's going to happen. He's going to come seek you because he gave you a job to do. Every Israelite has a duty. Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. The whole duty of man is to fear the Lord and keep his commandments. And you're not doing that. You're definitely not fearing the Lord, because if you were, you'd be keeping his commandments, and you're not doing that either. So the Lord now needs to bring the correction.
I got that precept you were asking for.
That's it. Bring it on.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, and verse 20 says, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, right? So it's the Heavenly Father who lays a stumbling block before anyone who goes off. Because if you're not of the elect, he's going to set you up so you could fail, so you don't pass the test, so you could be delivered. Right? So it says, he shall die, right? Because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, all right, actually, let me see if I can get a little bit more on that. It says, verse 21, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live. That's the elect. Because he is warned, that again, the warning, right? Also, thou hast delivered thy soul, right? So when you, let me see, I think, actually, verse 18 and 19 also is good too. But we got the point, right? The point is, if you might be doing something good, or you might think you're doing something righteous, but the moment you fall off track, you take your hands off the plow, the Most High is not remembering that righteousness that you did before, that service that you put in before, right? The Most High is of the mindset of, what have you done for me lately, right? He is the King. Okay? What have you done for me? Have you around? You know what I'm saying? Why should I have you around if you're not serving a purpose? Serve for, right? That's how a king thinks. If you're there to serve the king, you do what the king brought you in there to do. The moment you're no longer able to do it, is either he's gonna retire you, you're too old, so chill, or you're just not doing the right thing. You're not in the right spirit to be in this house. You gotta get out of here. All right. So that's how the Most High works, man. And he's expecting a perfect sacrifice. Okay, it has to be perfect, man. We can't emphasize that enough. Most looking for perfection. That perfection is coming from the true understanding of the scriptures and the deliverance of that, man. All right, if you taint it, or you add a little something to it or take a little something away from it, is no longer perfect. Therefore, it cannot be given unto the Lord. All right. But these other guys, they push that shit like it's like, you know, you could just do whatever. You can't not just do whatever, man. All right. And that's where the judgment is coming in. All right. But you got it, bro.
Right. Right. Got it.
John chapter 4, verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
Yeah. So when there has to be an emphasis or a distinction between the true worshipers and those that are not, that goes to tell us that you are going to have people that are going to be false worshipers of the Lord. And this is because you had the Samaritan woman at the well, and Yahushua was saying this to her. So he was letting it be known that, look, you got some that claim to serve and worship the Lord, but then you have the true worshipers of the Lord, right? The true Israelites that serve the Lord in sincerity and truth, the Israel of God. They're the ones that are going to serve the Lord in spirit and truth, not you. Because even if you wanted to, you can't do it the right way. There's more?
Read them. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
You hear that? The Most High seeketh such to worship him. So you ain't going to come here, you know, I'm coming as I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming as I am. You won't take me as I am. And then that's the end of the story. No. The Most High seeks a particular kind of worshipers to worship him. Whenever you see these different followings, religions, groups, their worshipers have a certain, you know, there's something that makes them different. You know, like when you watch like some of these Hindu religions, their worshipers either dress a certain kind of way, they eat a certain kind of thing, they do certain kind of rituals. But there's certain things that distinguish somebody from being a worshiper of a certain God or a certain following than somebody else. You see the Catholics, they go and do the mass thing. The second you go around, you see that little black thing on their heads, you know that, okay, this person is Catholic. So there's a difference, right? Well, it's the same thing with the Lord. There's something that distinguishes the true worshipers that he seeks versus everybody else. So if you go and tell a Catholic on mass, hey, I'm a Catholic, and they look at you and they don't see that there, then they're going to ask you, why don't you have the thing? Did you not go? Or if there's some holy day that requires you to do something and you don't do it, but you claim to be following that belief, they're going to ask you, well, why didn't you do this then? So it's expected that if you are a worshiper of a certain God or a certain following, then you should do whatever it is that makes you stand out as a worshiper, right? It's like a Muslim that doesn't keep Ramadan, or that doesn't go to the mosque, or doesn't fast, or doesn't do all of those things. Then you look at him like, you know what I mean? So when it comes to serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, there are certain things that distinguish the true worshipers. That's why Yahushai said that. The Father seeketh such to worship him.
And to your point, you have certain Ishmaelites that they'll chop themselves with swords
Yeah.
until they bleed out, which is the same thing as the prophets of Baal did. Shows you that the same line of false gods. And then I think Jehu said he wanted to bring all the worshippers of Baal in. I'm sure they all had some kind of, like you said, some kind of thing. They might have had a garment, or they all had some kind of thing that they knew that they all did together.
It's weird. Like when you think of Mass, Palm Sunday, it's like, where is any of these things in the scriptures?
For real.
Like you're going work doing these things. It's like none of it's in the scripture. The Lord said, "Do this in remembrance of me" with the Passover. You know, the bread and the wine. That's in the scriptures. Where is Mass in the scripture?
Yeah.
Where's Palm Sunday? Where's what is it? The other one, Resurrection Sunday. Where did it say to do these things? And even if you want to say, "Oh, we're remembering the Lord for, you know, when he sacrificed, he was on the cross," that wasn't a joyous moment. He said, "My soul is exceedingly sorrowful unto death." He went to the garden to pray, to ask the Lord, "Could you remove this from me? Could we do this another way?" He went back to his disciples like, "Yo, you couldn't stay up for like an hour." Like that's how down he felt. Like, "Yo, I'm feeling alone right now. You guys can't even stay up." That's giving you the atmosphere. Like, "Yo, I am," for lack of better words, I feel fucked right now, and y'all are just want to celebrate the man's death.
Good Friday, you call it.
Oh, Good Friday, the water, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, we needed him to do that. Don't get twisted. I don't want to sound fucked up saying that because we ain't way back to the Father, but it's like, it wasn't like he had to like go through a horrible death. Like I remember, I think I sent that video to you guys as well. Like the going towards Yahushua's death, the crucifixion, all that. Like when they were whipping and beating him, that isn't just okay. He was getting whipped. No, like
The cat of nine tails.
right, it would pull out his flesh. Like imagine like your jeans pocket, right? And you pull out the pocket. Like that's how his flesh was looking. The crown of thorns. It wasn't just okay. They put the crown of thorns. No, like they put it on and pressed it. And you
They were
can
long. Thorns, they were long.
and you can imagine the thorns going into the man's skull. And it's not like he can remove it. He has to deal with that bit.
Right.
Then on top, they removed his clothes and all that, ripped it off him, made mockery of him, bound him. Oh, here's the king of the Jews. I think they brought like a certain weed. Right. This man had to endure all that. Then on top of that, go on the cross, had his nails, through his hands and all, and his feet. And it's not like, okay, he's just hanging there. No, he has to actually support himself to keep himself up. When he's up there and you're like this, it's not like the nails and everything is keeping you up. No, you have to like on your toes to keep yourself up. And then on top of that, to also help himself breathe. And he was there for 3 hours of that, excruciating pain, having to every minute or sometimes go like this to help himself breathe. And I get a breather because, your calf muscles in your feet, you can't be like this for 3 hours. So it's like, all right. And then when he's back down, it's hard for him to breathe. So he has to probably like a wheezing and be able to breathe, and then go back to wheezing. Then having to have your mother, your disciples, they're seeing that as well. Them crying, right? Them crying, and it's like, it's a horrible thing that you got to see, especially your mother got to see that, but it must be done. And y'all, oh yeah, resurrection. No, it's not a joyous thing. A man have to die in a horrible way. Scriptures tell you that he was marred more before anything. You can't even recognize him. My bad. It's just like,
No, that was very, very good. It's very, very spiritual that you brought that out, man. People gotta hear that.
Yep. Hey, real quick, and Shalom, I think you had mentioned this too about even watching Yahushua, right, having to bear his own cross, right? Now, in the ancient Roman Empire, at least when you're in the church, they teach you like, he was bearing the whole cross itself, but in the ancient Roman Empire, what they would do is wherever the man or whoever was going to be crucified, they already had the pole, the one cross standing there, the stick itself. So then you have to carry the crossbar, the one that goes across. So that's what Yahushua was carrying. Now they say that it's estimated that just that bar alone is made out of solid wood, and that shit was like it was a 70 to 90 pounds, all right, of just a crossbar that you got to carry. Now, we work out and all that. 70 pounds, 90 pounds, that's not, an average person can't just go around lifting shit like that. You know what I mean? Unless your body's conditioned to lift weight that heavy, you're not just going to lift up 70 to 90 pounds just like that. Nah, it ain't going to work like that. So imagine going through all that shit, because remember, he didn't eat the night before, okay? Like the whole Passover situation, Yahushua was in the fasting spirit. He was up in the early morning in the Garden of Gethsemane, right? Like Shalom mentioned, and he's up there, like stressed out. Imagine that. You're not gonna be hungry if you about to be put to death in the next few hours. You're not thinking like that. You're about to go through humiliation. You're not. If anything, you're holding everything in to be as strong as possible. You're stressed, and he gets to the point where you got all these people up there. You got the Romans, you got the Judeans. Everybody's just looking at him like, yo, this man was performing all these miracles. Some people were like, yo, he's the Messiah. He's gonna do something. He's gonna, that hope of, okay, come on, get up. Like, you're the good guy. You gotta strengthen up, stand up and fight back. We know you can do it. We've seen the kind of power you have. Come on. And it's like as he's going, and you see him just getting beat down and worn out, and he can't even carry his cross. They had to get Simon of Cyrene to come in and help him out. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna be blessed. He's also of the elect, right? But to see all that, and it's like, damn, like watching Yahushua go through all that, and then he finally gets to the point where they nail him on the cross. It's like, yo, that's so painful to watch. And you could imagine the women, right? They were weeping because they were like, yo, come on, get up. You might have little children that were following Yahushua at that time, and then they grew up and became men and they were teaching in the ministry, but they were also little children watching. you know, watching your house shot. You could imagine them, you know, crying and big, like, come on, get up, come on, get up. And then as he's going and getting towards the end, he ain't getting up. And it's like, damn, it's like a spirit of like hopelessness, like, yeah, that your heart just drops, like, damn, he died. But then he rises up again. You see? But only those who have the faith, you're going to get that spirit of rejuvenation. Like, he's back, let's go. Like, you get excited, you know? That's why when he was about to leave, the disciples were like, yo, you about to set up the kingdom now because you back. They thought they got you, but you back, you know? So when he comes back, man, it's going to be a spirit of like, man, like so many different emotions all at the same time. You know, at least for those of us who are in tune and what's going on, we're gonna have a mixed feeling, like, yo, like, oh shit, how is I, like, I remember you now, like, yo, there you are, you know. And at the same time, like, you're afraid, but at the same time, you're excited. You're like, yes, let's go. Like, this place is about to get destroyed. It's over with. He's back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a whole feeling, man. But you know, I just kind of, you got to remember, like the Apostle Gabar always says, you know, you got to envision the scriptures. When you read it, you got to actually remember, like, see it, like you actually see it in your mind's eye, you know. So imagine what your house child was going through. You know, we saw it, right? And we back again, seen it again in this lifetime. When we read it, we're like, yup, it's back in our remembrance. You know, all the sufferings that he went through. That's why the work that we do is so passionate, because we saw what he did for us. You know what I'm saying? And through him, like Shalma and Ashiyar mentioned, that he had to go through it to bring us to the Father, right? But at the same time, it's like, damn, Lord, like the water for that passion, that beautiful passion that you had, so we could make it. You know what I'm saying? So for that, we're gonna come out here, we're gonna do what we gotta do, you know. But you got it, bro. I just want to add that in there.
I just wanted to make mention real quick. Yeah, I think in actuality, he would have to have eaten that night before, though, because in order to keep the Passover, you gotta actually eat of the actual. But what he did was he didn't drink of the wine the night before. Yep. And you can imagine, right? Like the point that Amram was making is that he ate because it's the Passover, but he wasn't in the mood of like today we'll say it's not a lamb dinner, right? And that's why when we eat of the Passover, we don't eat it like, yeah, the lamb may taste good, but you're not there to eat it like, oh, I'm good because that lamb tastes good.
It's not a full meal.
Exactly.
It's just meat, so it's like it's a light meal on your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he went there with like macaroni, potatoes, and something hefty on his stomach to go to the next day. No, it's a light meal.
Right. And it's prepared, and it's really a ritual, right? At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a ritual, and you're supposed to prepare it a certain kind of way, and you're supposed to eat it a certain kind of way. So we're eating it in adherence to that custom, you know. And if you're in the right spirit, you know, when you don't have an appetite but you're eating, that's the kind of feel you would have, because you're thinking about what is this meal I'm having actually represents, you know. What had to happen in order for me to, because yeah, we keep the Passover obviously from the time of Moses, but when Yahushua came, you know, we keep Yahushua's kind of Passover, so we keep him in remembrance as well. I think you have something, you're gonna say something, then you got something.
Zephaniah 3:18. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden.
And the solemn assembly is a serious gathering. And the scriptures tell you in the law, the Passover is a solemn assembly. So when you come to the Passover that night, it's serious. That's the whole point. It's serious. Because at the time of Yahushua, they weren't cracking jokes. If they were cracking jokes, then they wouldn't have been afraid to ask him, who is it that's going to betray you?
That's why I want to enter as well, because like kind of skip through it a little fast. But imagine, like, you know, like Elder Apostle Gabar says, you have to envision it. And remember, it's our people. It's not Edomites. You know how our people can get real over exaggerated and things like that. So imagine it. You have the Passover. It's a solemn assembly. You got your disciples here. Yahushua got John very close to him. He said, one of y'all is going to be a devil and betray me. You got to imagine the disciples at the table. What? I just said, one of us going to betray him? No, what you want? What you talking about? Who is it? Who is it, Lord? One that dipped the sop in me and in here with me is the same one. So they're all looking like, I ain't dipping it in there, but you got to. But I ain't doing it. Somebody in there thinking, shit, I wouldn't do that. Somebody, you know, Juice is the one that would eventually went and did it. That's why Yahushua said, you know, go and do what you got to do. Imagine the emotion. You know, the scriptures don't tell you that, but imagine the emotion Yahushua probably felt when he had to tell Judas, go and do what you got to do. Knowing what's going to happen, it's like, yo, you was with me for 3 years. I told you I ate with you. We probably, had some close interactions here and there. And now you got to be the one to go over there and betray me. But it was set up for Judas to do that. Then he's in the Garden of Gethsemane. He brings, I believe, Peter and I can't remember the other disciples, right? With there. And it's not just, Yahushua's praying in there. He's on his knees praying. And then I said, no, he was in there, from our sake, for like probably more than an hour. So it's like he's in there praying, and then eventually he stops. So it's like probably walking around. If you're stressed, you know how we all be like,
He's not hearing nothing.
yeah, it's like Pops ain't answer. I see no angels. What's going on? You pray again. All right, he goes to the disciples. Yo, y'all couldn't stay up, man. Like, yo, I'm stressed out right now. Y'all gotta stay up for me right now. I need y'all to just be alert. That's all I need you to do. Just be alert. Go back, pray. Nothing going on. Fuck. I gotta go back. They sleeping again. All right, you know what? Let's just go. We gotta go. Look, the hours come. I gotta, he that doth betray me is on his way. Then that scenario comes up. Judas comes with the individuals to take Yahushua. You got Peter, and you said John was also there. Imagine they roll up. Like, imagine, it's like this right here, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm Yahushua, but imagine,
I think majority of the disciples were there, but then when he went off to pray, he took a few a little further.
Closer,
Because it says
Peter, John, and James.
Peter, John, and James. Right?
Yeah, the three.
Yeah. Because then the rest, I mean, they scattered too, but the rest ran too.
Okay. So imagine you pull up, now you see this big entourage coming. Judas did. Imagine the disciples like, Judas going on with it? And it's like they coming out there, they got the swords and they had all that. And it's like, yo, Judas come up, kiss your house shot, and then they try to grab him on. It's like, yo, what the hell is going on? And Judas doing like, what the whole situation is? You this entire time? You? It's not like, again, this is our people. It's not no simple, it's Judas. No, it's this motherfucker. I always knew there was something up with you. You was a slimy motherfucker. There was something, you would do something conniving shit, Tom. I'm not fucking surprised with you. But your house shot, eat all of that, knowing that, yo, you're one of my people. You were with me. You were a close one. You were a disciple of mine. And you're one of them that betrayed me. And I gotta eat that. It's like, yo, I gotta stand there and watch you eye to eye and talk to you and say, friend, how come you betray me with the kiss? It's not the scriptures don't get to the emotion of that. Like, I gotta look you eye to eye and you the one that betrayed me. And then I still gotta have a calm demeanor and let all this happen. Like, y'all should know.
Then you have to calm Peter down. Because Peter drew that sword, cut off the ear of the.
Right, so then after a moment, his emotion got switched on. Peter, you can't do that. Chill out. Everyone that's taking the sword shall die by the sword. Don't you know how to bring a 12 legion angel and take this whole shit down? But then how much the scripture be fulfilled? Then after that, you put the air back on the man. Like, something on the back, like, yo, like, this shit crazy. Like, yeah. Our people are, it's like a movie. That's how our people are. Then they eventually took him. He's there in the it's the Sanhedrin, 72 elders. Then they're accusing me just lying, saying nothing. They probably get in his face like, yo, you don't hear all the accusations we got against you? You don't hear this?
Punched him.
This man said to destroy the temple in 3 days. You don't hear the type of stuff this man saying? With all this false accusation. If it's one of you, you're like, man, y'all a goddamn lie. I ain't say that shit or mean that type of stuff, but no. Why? He's like, look, you gonna see the Son of Man come with power and great glory? The angels look. This man said, what do I need? Then, like you said, they slapped him on something. Who slapped the on anointed tongues? Who slapped? Then eventually, it took him to Pontius, same thing. Pontius is like, yo, you don't hear all these accusations? Pontius marveled at him, like, yo, how do you hear all this stuff? An average individual would try to stand up for himself. You're not saying nothing. You're just there.
Oh, but also keep in mind too that when he picked Judas from the beginning, he knew that Judas was going to be the one to betray him. So imagine 3 years you around him and like imagine you came from the future. In the future you were betrayed by somebody, like a brother, during the time we needed him most. And now you come back 3 years later, you got to be in the same camp with him. You got to keep the high holy days with him. You don't give an indicator to him that you know this. And this brother comes with something, hey, yo, when you been out there?
You got to hold that because it's like, it, but it's like, you can't, your initial action, like,
do that, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's like you might count it, but it's like you gotta
You gotta not do it.
whole time.
That's right. Whole time, yeah.
That's crazy. You know it.
You know it.
That's that movie, The Dark Knight. Girl at the end, she stabs Batman.
Oh, I didn't.
It's the slow knife. Oh, Dark Knight, right? The knife that takes its time. The knife that cuts deep. It'll take years to cut you because she was friends with him. And basically, she knew him for a long ass time. She already had built him. She slept with him.
Yeah.
Long ass relationship. You know what I'm saying? They knew each other for a minute. Thought that was his woman. And she comes through right in the time when he was about to, when he needed help. Came through with the knife in his back. She told him not to say it. Told him not to slow. That's just how it was with Judas. And the Lord knew it was, but the thing about it that makes it crazy, like the brother said, he knew that it was going to be Judas. That's the crazy part.
I picked him.
And
I picked him.
Like, yeah, you got him. Yeah, you are. Judas, my man. You know, and here it is. The whole time, he's about to.
And the disciples ain't even know. Like you mentioned, even up until, like, that's a good description that you gave, because even at the garden, remember that the disciples weren't fully aware as to what's actually happening here. Like, you got to really remember that. We know now, but they weren't aware. They thinking, why is every now and then you keep saying this, like, that Son of Man must be crucified and must be raised up in 3 days. They're going to come get me type shit. He's like, yo, what you saying? So when he says that, go and do what you got to do to Judas, I think in the book of John, it says that some of them thought that it had to do with the treasury, because Judas had to do with that. So they're thinking, maybe he got to do some preparations of some shit. Come to find out at the garden, they're like, what the fuck is Judas over there? Like you mentioned. And then it's like, this nigga here. Because he kissed them, and then they were like, that's him, go grab him. And then they ran. Imagine that.
Hey, and that kiss goes back to what is known as the kiss of death, right? There's an ancient I forget what empire it was, but there was something. I think the Romans were doing it too, where they had something known as a kiss of death. When you got kissed, it was more like, even the mafias do that shit, right? Where they'll kiss you, and then that's like, is a wrap. The moment you get that kiss, then the snipers know, that's that guy that we're looking for. So that was pretty much what Judas did.
Yeah,
and
on the face, which it was in our custom a greeting, right? Like it says, greet the brethren with a holy kiss. But like Aaron is saying, in this case, Judas had made a deal that would signify who it is that they're supposed to go and get.
Beautiful. And there was the part where Yahushua got the crown of thorns put on his head. His garment was stripped, was torn apart. They were parting it and all that. What's the cast lots. There you go. They were casting lots with it, mocking him and all that, right? That goes back also to a Roman custom that the Roman soldiers used to do. It was called the King's Game. You can look it up. It's called the King's Game. And what they'll do is they'll take the prisoner or whoever the so-called criminal was, and then they'll dress him up like with a crown of thorns. They'll put the crown over your head, and then they'll strip your clothes and everything. So I'm like, damn, like that's what they did to Yahushua. It was literally him going through those times, the Roman times, the humiliation process that they'll do today. For example, if you were to go to court and then you're in chains, you have the orange jumpsuit and all that extra shit, they'll put you in prison, meanwhile you're innocent. And then they might put you on death row. They might be like, okay, you didn't take the MOTB, you're gonna get your head chopped off. And it's documented. 2,000 years later, they read it, they'll be like, damn, like, so like they put him in chains, like, okay, that's talking about handcuffs. Oh, they put him in the orange jumpsuit. Oh shit. Oh, they put you in jail. Like, wow, jail. What is that? Jail, shit like that. But back then, what they did, they'll act like they're praising the king and all that, and then they'll start laughing. So it was a mocking ritual that they did. So when I was reading that, and I found out about it, read another book going into something known as a King's Game. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers here. Like, so they actually did shit that was customs, and then they put Yahushua through it. You know what I mean? The whole, even the crucifixion, that was a Roman execution style, right? It wasn't of our custom, it was them. That's what they did. And Yahushua died by way of crucifixion. You know what I'm saying? So the whole process, everything, you go into the Herod, and then you go to Pontius Pilate to be receiving your judgment. All these different things was what they used to do, Like how when they had Yahushua and then the two other criminals, Barabbas and the other one, and then they asked, who should we let go? Because it was a ritual that we got to let one person out. Who's it going to be this time? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the same things that was going on back then, there's similar things that's happening now. No new thing under the sun. So that means whatever they did to Yahushua, they're going to try to do to the men who's come in the spirit of Yahushua, man. All right. And it's going to be done in a modern day way, but still the same thing. You got it.
Isaiah 53:10. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand.
And that's a very heavy role that the Lord played. That was in that.
There's a couple.
Okay, so we're probably gonna close on that. But yeah, that was a heavy role that Yahushua played, man, because for it to please the Lord, for him to go through what he went through, nobody else would have fulfilled that. You know, because nobody else could have came and been perfect like Yahushua. And then imagine that the reward for perfection is having to die that way.
So, I just want to add as well. Nobody really mentioned even how the Heavenly Father thought it wrong. It's like, yeah, it says it does please the Lord to bruise him, but yeah, for the purpose of bringing back the children of Israel. Because I forgot I was watching I'm not sure the elder's name, but I know it's like GMS Boston on the streets. I think it was like a month ago.
Alabama? Oh, not Elder Dama. I forgot his name. I know you.
Yeah,
Is it Elder Amos?
I'm not sure the name.
Yeah, it might be him too. But yeah.
But he was stating how the relationship between the nation of Israel and the Most High was so serious that the Heavenly Father sent his son to die on the cross. That's how serious the relationship was. And I want to make this point that, that pretty much, yeah, even though, yeah, it says that it pleased the Lord to bruise his son, you never know, like, yo, as a father, you're seeing, like, this is your only begotten. This is the first spirit that I created. This is a unique spirit that is closer to me than any other spirit. And even though, yes, it pleases me to bruise him for my purpose to perfect him and the rest of the nation, I still have to watch my son go through this. It doesn't mean that, yeah, it may please me, but I may still not like seeing him go through this. Like, I don't like seeing him be on that cross. I don't like seeing his own people spit on him and things like that. Yeah, it does please the Lord, but you never know how the Heavenly Father may have felt as well. Like, yo, I have to watch y'all spit on him. Like, this is not like y'all other spirits. This is a separate, like, this is mine. Like, he came from me, and y'all are spitting on him, mocking him. Y'all pretty much put the crown of thorns, like doing all this type of stuff. I have to watch this as a father. And like, I have power to deliver him out of this, but for my purpose, I have to let that be.
Right. Hey, but the NLT says, but it was the Lord's good plan to crush him and cause him grief.
Yeah, but the scary thing about it too is that the Lord don't feel like we do. So, to the Most High, on the one hand, like, for example, we would get emotional, but the Most High, at least from what you read in the scriptures, he has a very, like,
Detail.
Yeah, and like logical, like, way of dealing. Meaning, like, in the Most High's mind, if he sent his son back to do this, this is what you're gonna do, regardless of what it is. But I'm getting pissed off because, like you were saying, Shalama, I did all of this for your dumbasses, and you're sitting there talking about let his blood be upon us and our children's children, and then you're going about basically disregarding the effort I put in to deliver you, and then the Most High gets angered. So that's the scary thing about it, right? Because, like, certain things to us is trivial to the Lord, like to the Most High himself, and it makes sense why he had to create Yahushua and put Yahushua through that. Because when you read in the book of Hebrews, it says because Yahushua went through those things, he can be a better mediator for us. Because some things you might pray to the Most High bitching about, and the Most High might just be like, why the hell is he bitching about that? But it takes Yahushua having gone through that to be able to reword that and push it to the Father and say, you know what, Lord, please just get him out of it, because I know he's it's not that he's being weak, but he's feeling yada yada yada. Because to the Father, he just be like, bro, just do what you got to do. But you can imagine it's Yahushua that really gets us those little carnal goodies here and there, catch a break here and there. Because if it's up to the Most High, look at how he dealt with Ezekiel. He said, no, kill us. Your wife is going to die. Don't mourn about it. That's it.
That's a straight heat.
That's
it.
So that's why you got to get Yahushua, because if I got to do, so you got people that say they want to deal straight with the Father. If you really look at the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament, you can think of the Old Testament as like, dealing with the Father. The dude picked up sticks on the Sabbath, gone. What did the Most High say? Kill him. But then the woman commits adultery, and Yahweh Shai says, forgive her. So now you see why you need Yahweh Shai, because if you want to deal with the Lord, you're going to deal with them laws. And that's how the Lord dealt. He said, look, if I'm dealing with these people, I'm dealing with look, this is what I told you to do it. If you don't do it, you fucked up. But then now I got to put Yahweh Shai in there. So if I'm like, you ain't do it, you fucked up, then Yahweh Shai is going to say, oh Lord, yes, I know, but, you know, at the same time, remember, it's your servant. Remember, you know, in the flesh, sometimes you go through this, that, and the third, then the Lord calms down. All right, you know what I'm saying? Because hey, Moses, the Lord's about to slay Moses for not circumcising his children. But wait a minute, Moses was the Lord's chosen. The Lord cursed Miriam and Aaron, you know, really Miriam, for coming against Moses. He said, I talked to him face to face, unlike any other. And he was ready to slay him. So that's the fear of the Most High, is when it says he's not a respecter of persons, like the Lord is very direct, straight up, and unpredictable. He's like, all right, step aside, let me destroy them, and I'm gonna start again with you. So you notice that if Moses hadn't been there to intercede on our behalf, I mean, I don't know where it would be at. If Yahweh Shai wasn't created to intercede on our behalf, then again, maybe the world would have not been here by now. So, but the Father knows his own nature. That's why he created Yahweh Shai, to basically remind him to calm him down. You lucky I made these promises, because man,
It's all part of the plan.
that's it.
There's a little more on that.
Got it.
And it perfectly ties into what you guys are saying. Isaiah 53:11 in the NLT. When he sees all that is accomplished by his anguish, he will be satisfied. So I think the pleasure aspect of it is also the Lord is looking, the Most High is looking, well, this is going to bring immortality back to my son, bring him back into a good estate, and also my people. So yeah, you know, obviously nobody wants to see their son go through that, but at the same time, the Most High is not his thoughts are not our thoughts. So, you know, like it's like how you deal with your woman. You're so logical that she's like, what do you have no feelings or something? And at the end of the day, you're looking at it, well, you're too emotional. I'm looking at things, I'm matter of fact about this. This is all matter of fact to me. This is what happens, A, B leads to C. So this is what has to happen.
No, but it's too hard. Is there a way to do it? So what the fuck are you complaining about?
Right.
Then somebody, hey brother, but you know, she's a woman, so you have. Do half today, do half tomorrow. How's that?
That's essentially the Most High. That intercessor coming to ease it up.
Yeah.
It's the lawyer, like, listen, boy. I mean, like the lawyer, imagine the judge, like the judge could like get him out of here. But now it's like, yo, maybe we could put him on probation or something. Maybe do some what's it, community service, ease it up. If you just do that, it's gonna be like,
He's a servant. He is a servant. Remember what he's done for you. Lord about to wipe your ass quick, man.
That's why we praise Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Because the Most High, knowing how he is, he made Yahweh Shai for us to have a way back to him and to have that in between. The filter. Because if not, you OT only niggas are so damn stupid. I seen a bitch on social media, she talking about she's only dealing with Yahweh. And she made a post about her favorite sex position. You think the Father dealing with that? Yahweh Shai definitely ain't dealing with that. But you think the Father dealing with that?
He gonna send them jail niggas to come. That's what she likes. She might die by that sexual position.
She's talking about I'm servant of Yahweh. No?
well, she actually said name.
Yeah, she's the name and everything. Yahweh. She's talking about the Most High. No, she's one of them Hebrew-esque. Those are, you gotta run, bro. Run. Stay far away from them. They're so prideful, man. You got it, bro.
They got the Athaliah spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a quick precept going back to Yahushua, right? The importance of Yahushua, what he did for us, and what he means to the nation of Israel. Really start with the elect, right? Because remember, it ain't the Most High himself who's going to come save us. It's Yahushua who's going to deliver us from the thermonuclear destruction that comes. See, there's a book of First Timothy chapter 2 verse 5. It says, "For there is one power and one mediator between the power and men, the man Yahushua Hamashiach." Okay, so Yahushua is that perfect that in between us and the Heavenly Father, like you brothers were saying, like the bridge the person that bridges the gap between us and the Heavenly Father. Okay, because he lived as a man, so he's able to, mediate on our behalf when we go through shit. Like Lord, like brothers were saying, Most High about to kick your ass. and then Yahushua, Yahushua jump in right before the hell, like the Most High could start jacking you up, and then you pray to Yahushua, well, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and he's like, Lord, I know what but this is what he means to this ministry. I mean, if you want to jack him up, just don't make it too intense where he can't deliver the goods, because we still need him. He's a vessel, right? Maybe hit him up a little bit so he could straighten out. But let me take care of it. You see, and then Yahushua jumps in, and the next thing you know, everything is back smooth again. But you just got to go through the shit that you started off from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the Lord will do that, but remember, Yahushua is that mediator. When we pray to the Heavenly Father, we pray through Yahushua. We have to go through someone, right? You don't get to the boss, the owner of the company directly. You go through your managers, and then they go up the chain. So Yahushua is that one who the angels send it up to him, and then he filters it and then delivers it to the Heavenly Father. Because what we say to the Heavenly Father is straight folly. So Yahushua cleans it up a little bit before it goes to the Heavenly Father. So that way we don't get the opposite of what we asked for. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully I'm not going off sense, but it makes sense why Yahushua said, I can't remember where, but it's probably in the book of John where he says the Father had left no judgment into pretty much the Father had left the judgment into the Son's hands. And it makes sense because if you leave it in the Father's hands, you're done. But the Son, and that's why Yahushua pushed so much mercy, because I'm pretty much the mercy that y'all need. So it's like, listen, that's why he put it in my hand, because it's like in his hands, y'all are all done. So it's like, that's why he heavily put the mercy. That's why he told the individual, how many times shall I forgive my brother? He said 70 times 70. Because if not, you're done for. This is why I'm up there, like you said, intercessor for y'all. The mercy, I'm talking on y'all behalf, working things out every day, every hour. Remember, they don't sleep, so it's like every day. It's like the Most High is probably imagine this with a neck. Yeah, you sleeping I want to take my bed. No, Father, chill out. This is good to the ministry. You can try, this mindset. God damn, this is shit.
Yahushua is like the embodiment of Yahweh's mercy.
Yeah, God,
That part, right? But it goes to show you also still the mercy of the Most High. Because, like I said, the scriptures say, and Ezra said it, that when he saw that our sins were great, he multiplied his compassion. Because he knew the Lord knows his nature. So he knows that, look, if I see this right here, I know how I'm going to get it. So you know what? Let me already prepare myself. Because I know these things going to drive me overboard. I might just fall to earth again, So, but that shows you, right? You want to talk about real self-control. That's the Most High, man.
And it had to be dramatic.
Yeah.
It had to be dramatic. Because when Yahushua did his sacrifice himself like that, that caused us to be like, man, he actually died for us. Wow, okay, so now he's going to be the one to guide us to everything that the Father wants. Even when Yahushua was teaching the law, he would give some deeper understanding on certain parts. Forget which one it was. Oh, he said that, to look upon another woman with lust is adultery. So he's like, listen, this is what the Father wants. Yeah, the law says this, but let me give you the deeper understanding on what the Father really expects out of you. And yeah, establish the law, but this is the deeper aspect of this is what I'm telling you directly what the Father wants. Straight up. So this is why we follow Yahushua. You're a goddamn fool if you don't follow Yahushua. Or if you think that you're going to go directly. Even in the OT, you had to go through the high priest, man. It was always an intercessor. You had to go through the prophet. Who the hell you think you are going to the Father directly? Even his prophets didn't do that. Some of them did. Even us, we didn't even go to Yahushua directly. Guess what? We had to learn through men. Yahushua set up men. Hey, Yahushua came to our bedroom one day and woke us up out of bed. Hey, brother, here, my servant, I'm going to teach you.
That's that new Revelation 3:20 breakdown.
Yeah, Revelation, the book of Revelation, part 2. No, the Lord set up men. And that's another part of his mercy. On top of Yahushua, now he has men set up. All right, now I'm going to have my shepherds to even further break things down for you. So what else more do you need? The Lord gave us an abundant amount of mercy, man. So if you don't take advantage of it now, then hey, the death that's coming, you deserve it. Straight up.
But imagine, right? If Yahushua was Yahweh's mercy, Yahushua was how esteemed he was. he was the Lord's mercy. And imagine the Most High. You know, because he got people like you mentioned, got that other layer of mercy, right? Where y'all set up shepherds like if he does. Because if he was here, people would hate him. But jump side, people would hate him. They'd be like, nah, he's too rough. But he's the one that's supposed to be merciful. So really, y'all gotta toughen up. You know, you gotta toughen up. There's certain things like, imagine because sometimes you may have someone say certain things to you a certain way, but they may not feel too good. But you gotta remember who this person is. At the end of the day, this is how it's not. You gotta stick the hell up quick. Don't even get screamed at the first.
But that's why Jacob's trouble that need your house trying to cover us. Because you think about it, this is the wrath of the Heavenly Father. If it was left to him, it's like, yo, I don't give a shit. Get through it. I don't care. But the house shot is gonna be that covering we need. Like all right, God, the way he's coming down with this wrath.
Can you imagine that day? When the Lord said, the Lord just that, because nobody knows, right? And the Most High is like, all right, look, it's time. Everybody's gonna be, angels gonna be scrambling quick. You know what I'm saying? Find the Father, he's like, cover him now. The Father's got up. He said, stop, cover his ass now, bro.
Chaotic, bro. It's gonna be a chaotic.
Withdraw him. You will have the angel. You will have the cool standing. Hey, set up.
He was gonna be in your bed, you gonna just teleport something. What the fuck just happened? It's like, yo, it's that time.
You gotta be quiet now. You knew what was coming? No. But that's how it's gonna be. Because when remember, they see what goes on in this world before us. So when the Father gives, he does that tap. All right, it's not like he's just gonna start sending them death angels.
What was that video? Some chick made the most side that eventually your house shot was like, he was pretending to be the most side, your house shot Michael the other day.
Oh, I think I saw it. I'm trying to remember it.
And your house, when he was pretending to be your house, he gave him that nine, your house shot.
Yeah.
And Michael was like,
I saw that, yeah. But that's how they're gonna be. Everybody's gonna be in like very serious mode. The angels that gotta protect your life, they're gonna go quick, because when them death angels come out, if you don't have that protection, you're done. They're gonna like I explained, they're gonna be like them kids when you let them out in daycare. Them kids are fast and destructive too. If you don't watch out, you probably don't have a kid just run your ass over with their little car shit. Because kids they don't give a damn. Next thing the back of your ankle just get run over by that tire because they're excited. That's how these death angels gonna be. Excitement on overdrive. Anyway, get that.
Isaiah 53:11 in the NLT, when he sees all that is accomplished by his anguish, he will be satisfied.
So because here's the thing, right? Like I said earlier, the Most High, he doesn't just do anything for no reason. I just want to see what this looks like. No, everything has a reason. So when you're there and say, oh Lord, please show me an angel, for what reason? Whenever I send an angel to somebody, there was always a reason, right? There was a message. So why would I just send one just for your music? So when the Most High sent the Son, there was a reason. And the Most High is not accomplished because you're giving it your best effort. He's accomplished because he's appeased because you've done what he said do. That's the point. That's how the Most High deals. If he says do A, unless you do A or until you do A, then you're not done. And when you do A, then you're done. Don't do more, don't do less. So that's why he was appeased by what Yahushua accomplished. And that's why when Yahushua prayed to him, he didn't give him that other way. Because that's not what they agreed on.
And because of his experience, my righteous servant will make it possible for many to be counted righteous.
Yeah. So Yahushua, even though he was a son, he was referred to as a servant. Because he was there to serve the Most High. That's why he was created. Right?
For he will bear all their sins.
And that's why the Most High was so focused on that. Because he's like, look, this is the only way to actually deliver this nation right now at the point that they're at. I need to put them all on one, and then let's use that one. And that's Yahushua. Okay?
I will give him the honors of a victorious soldier. And then when you go into the word, it says a portion with the great. It's basically dealing with a chief or a captain.
Yeah, like how in the Roman Empire, they had what they called I think it was like I think the word was like a triumph or a certain word for it, where if you had a consul, what they would do And then for like that year, they lost that honor and that power as being like that, that warrior with the spoils and all of that.
Because he exposed himself to death. He was counted among the rebels. He bore the sins of many and interceded for rebels.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's a deal. The Lord says, you go, you do this, you get this. That's it. You do it well or leave, of course. But it's not like the Most High is emotionless. Where do we get our emotions from? But the way we express our emotions is not the same way the Lord expresses it. The things that trigger us are not the same that trigger the Lord in the same way. That's why I said we see it not as man sees. But anyway, that was on there, right? All right, you got it? You got it? Perfect. Cool. That's all good. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. Closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Machad, Kadash. Next time, Shalom.
Shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shai Barakatam. Shalom to the elect.
Say Shalom.
Yeah.